heater. She was hitting from mid-range, and then what happened, Cheryl?
Halftime.
It did not keep that way.
Halftime happened.
They did not want halftime to happen.
No, but to your point, I think you and I talked about this briefly, but I know I talked about this with just some other people in talking about the game. I thought the South Carolina Texas game was going to be more of a more physical game. You know, it was going to be a long, drawn out game. It just wasn't. I'm trying to find the right word because
I see you searching for it.
It
was a bummer.
It wasn't
a bummer.
exciting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was you had two teams who are really good defensive teams, and that was it. Like there was no flashy plays. I don't know. To me, it just wasn't an exciting game. But to your point, when the game started out in Texas, because to me, Texas is known for their defense, right? Not so much their offense, except for Madison Booker. And sometimes Madison Booker, when she's on, she is going to give you problems. And when she's off, you look at that team and you're like, okay, where is the scoring going to come from? And so when that game started, it was, Madison Booker was knocking down shots. Roy Harmon was knocking down shots. Taylor Jones was knocking down shots. Like their offense was looking really good. So I was like, oh, okay. So South Carolina, you're going to have to do something different defensively to slow them down. And then I know we laughed, but seriously, and then halftime happened. They came back out in the third quarter. And I said, yeah, I was wondering when the old Texas was going to show up.
Oh, dang it. South Carolina outscored them 20-9 in that third quarter to take control and really blow the game wide open. But I think it starts more in that first quarter because we talked about Madison Booker. She is the person that makes this Texas team go. She picks up an early foul. We were like, okay, watch that. Then she picks up a second foul. And we're like, all right, Coach Vic Schaefer, what you going to do? Like, she's hot right now. Do you pull her? Then she picks up a third foul on a silly play, trying to go for the steal. And you see her drop to her knees. And at that point, Cheryl, we lost her. Like, she was no longer in the game. 3 fouls in a quarter never happened in her career. She had to sit the whole, or I think, it was a whole half because she had to sit the whole second quarter mostly. But she was playing tentative. She didn't want to draw an offensive foul. She didn't want to play too aggressive on defense, which is their identity. So then the rest of the team kind of followed that lead and it fell flat. And South Carolina took advantage, which I was happy that they did. Well,
Jordan, to your point, right? Like as a coach, you have to know your players, right? And Madison Booker, because of the type of player she is, not so much defensively, but even offensively, like she's an aggressive player that she's going to take it at you, right? She has a nice little pull-up J in the paint, but she also looks to get to the hole. So as a coach, though, I'm sitting here saying she has 2 fouls. You do not want her to pick up her third foul in the first half. And they were winning or the game was close. So you're okay, right? So I personally would have taken her out. I get it. I know Coach Schaefer's probably like, we're trying to win this game. I need my best player in the game. But at the same time, you still got a whole nother half to go. And you were still very much in the game when she picked up that third foul. Because, and the reason why I say as a coach, you have to know your players. Because like Madison is, to me, is still very young, right? In certain situations.
She is.
And she should have known not to go for that steal. But listen, in the heat of the moment and you're just playing the game, it happens. So as a coach, you have to do your part to try not to put her in that position, right? So she doesn't pick up that third foul. Yeah. Would it have made a difference in the game? I don't.
Oh, that's just my bitch. Like I told her, I said, whenever I seen her that song, She sent it back to me. She was like, bitch, what you want me to do? How many bars? I was like, girl, just tell me at the frame. And that's exactly what she did. And it worked. Because everybody like, oh my God, this should have been Ghost song. You right. Okay. Exactly.
You don't feel no ways about seeing like people say that?
Hell nah. Because what they fail to realize is, bitch, I'm not trying to be no bitch no like that, but whether y'all, no matter how many times y'all trying to be friends, I'm going to skip the glow part, baby. That still make...
Oh, well, that's your song.
Whether you skip the glow part, Ciara part, my part, the end, the beginning, whether you just do 5 seconds, it's still going to make me some money on. It's a great song. All of us, I love it. Glow ate us up, bitch. I knew she did. Before y'all heard it, I heard it. So y'all have to know that I knew that she ate us up, and that's exactly what the fuck I wanted. But guess what? It got y'all bitches awake, didn't it? Ho, stand the fuck up and start crying about that nigga. Bitch, go outside and set a spine on that nigga. Bitch, I'm a boss. I ain't relying on this nigga. To be honest, I'll never stop lying to these niggas. Young turn, bitch, I ain't never been no fucking leech. I ain't looking for no husband. I just want a freak. Enjoy with my time with these niggas. This life shit weak. I'm getting my ex name covered as we fucking speak. Just met this nigga though, and he said he be tricking hard. It's been 2 days, bitch.
Hate a fake trick. Shout out to Anicia. I do think realistically those is okay. That is one of those things where people kind of just, we always had that conversation when we talking about artists, and if getting a feature, do you get upset if that song seems more like somebody else's song? Like when people just be like, oh, this person, I'm only here for this feature. And again, I think sometimes the smarter artists just don't care. It's almost just like, I mean, kind of like nobody never bring it up, but if you think about it, DJ Khaled don't rap on none of his songs. They still DJ Khaled songs. So I do think sometimes some rappers, especially in this day and age, I don't necessarily know if rappers have that I want to have the best verse type of situation. Now, let's be clear. Sometimes I do think some of them do feel like that. Like when you got that Dirk and Lil Baby back and forth, I do feel like sometimes that they wanted to see who had the best verse in between those two. Or even just the recent Joan did, Quavo and Lil Baby just put out this song called Legends. I do believe when those two were rapping, they were trying to rap and see who had the best verse. But I do think sometimes when you get certain artists where they kind of don't care, and Anicia is one of those rappers that kind of just like, I don't think that she's trying to have ever had the best verse. I think I've even seen, I think in the same interview or a different interview, she's like, bro, I just make vibes. I'm not here really trying to be lyrical miracle. I'm just trying to make music for girls to kind of turn up to, do their makeup to, just really actually catch a vibe, and I'm not really trying to be, and it worked for her. Like that, I'm back outside. Like that song is just, it's just a vibe. Like she was smart where it's like, cool, I may not be able to rap to this certain, but I'm gonna get somebody on each one of these songs that I feel like this song could be a hit. I'm gonna put somebody on here who can absolutely out rap me. Again, with that back outside song, she put Lotto on there. Lotto out, of course, Lotto smoked her. It was without a question. So I mean, I'm not mad at her. I think you sometimes you just got to kind of know, play to your, I guess if this was sports, I'd say play to your strong hand and kind of understand what your weaknesses is. And if you know for a fact, I'm not the greatest rapper ever, why not? I can come up with hooks. And a lot of rappers struggle with hooks. Like I love Lady London, but bro, her hook game is horrible. Like her hook game is absolutely disgusting. Like she can rap, she can rap her butt off, but it's just like everybody can't put together good hooks. And that is just one of those things that the times that we live in. So again, like I said, shout out to Anicia. And if you didn't hear that, like I said, that Quavo and Lil Baby Joan, I ain't gonna lie to you, they was rapping like that was one of them Jones where it was like, damn, I haven't heard, I don't even necessarily, I think the last time I actually even heard them two on a song together realistically may have been the remix to what was that first Lil Baby song that kind of really got popping? Oh, That's My Dog. That was probably like if I can remember off the top of my head, that may have actually been the last time I heard Lil Baby and Quavo on an actual song together. So like I said, that was cool. Like I said, so if you haven't heard that jump by Quavo and Lil Baby, they did put out a new song this Friday, and the jump was called Legend. What else is going on in the world? Okay, yeah, I guess matter of fact, I do want to get real quick just because we was talking about it last week. I do want to give Raising Cane some credit. I want to kind of get right to that early in the episode because we kind of like super disrespected it. And it deserved the disrespect. Even when I posted that on social media, a lot of people agreed that it was like, this was absolutely the episode that kind of saved this entire season. Like if you were over the season before the last episode, I mean, it was respectable and you kind of understood it because it was just like, bro, what's going on? Like this y'all just super dry. There's no action. There's no nothing. The reasons what people fell in love with Raising Kanan, you did not get that out of none of the previous episodes until this very last one. And this very last jump, Jukebox was the star of this joint. Like she literally looked like she made about to put this whole entire season on her back and had to pull a LeBron James down 3-1. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. That Juke, when she was on that basketball court and she got the tap in her head with the gun, I was like, oh, she is bugging out right now. Like that to me made this whole entire season like it saved the whole season. Like it literally saved the whole season. Like this season was a dub. Like nobody, it was lackluster. Nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody actually cared about the season. But you sitting here saying, yeah, it was just different. On that season, I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta take my hats off the Jukebox. Just that little basketball court scene, just that whole episode, she saved the whole entire jump. But just that little scene, her on the basketball court and her just tapping the gun on her head, and she just really kind of just like, man, that jump. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was tight to me. Even when she was just in it, like when she took the gun the first time and she was out shooting, it was just like when you talking about seeing the actual characters get built, like that is the way it was like, all right, this is kind of fire. All right, this makes sense. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. The famous thing to me, because it kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, dang, hold on. That's why I even asked you. I'm like, hold, did I miss something? Did they show who supposedly killed them or something? And he was like, nah. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. If I was a character, I ain't gonna lie to you. I wouldn't want to get wrote out of a season like that. Like it's just like he literally just never come back. Like he don't even get his final. Like they don't even show him dying or nothing. Like maybe later on in the season they may, but I just feel like, dang, that was kind of like that's a tough one to be like. All right,
now, didn't they do somebody else like that too? In Power?
I don't know. Not that I can remember. That's a tough way to go out. Like
I feel like for somebody else that they did that. They did them off like that too. Like it wasn't. Like
who? I can't a main character like that. No. The thing about the Famous was a main character for the having these previous seasons up to date. He was a main character. So for them to kind of off a main character without showing him get off, like it was kind of like, damn.
Was it the Asian Bama? The Fed? He didn't get killed, right?
Who? And what season is you
talking about? Version of Power. He didn't get killed, right?
I don't think the Asian guy got killed.
But he kind of just.
But he wasn't the main character though.
Famous was a main character. Like Famous was like damn near a part of the family.
Somebody else got taken out like that too.
Nah, not like that. But you know it's so crazy. Even kind of looking at them dudes when they was even on the basketball court when she pulled the strap out on them, I was like, bro, come on. I was glad that she didn't do it because I was just like the regular Power. Like if this was Tommy and Ghost Power, they still would have smoked all four of them just because. But it was just like when they on the court, I'm kind of like, come on, bro. Like they look like kids for real. Like that kind of like that compassion of your adult where it was like, yeah, I get this TV, but I still felt some type of way. Like, come on, don't do that to these innocent kids. Like that's how I felt like when they was on the basketball court, they felt like innocent kids. Like I kind of, even though that I know when Kanan was paying attention to them while they was on the block, Younger had a strap. It's still that energy of them on the basketball court never came off like they was really on no type of time. Even to have them crap like, man, come on, you know we ain't like that. We ain't out here busting no bodies enough, and I was kind of like, come on, bro, just get him a pass. But I just love Jukebox character. Her character was absolutely the best character of so far. What are we, 5 episodes in or 6 episodes in? However many episodes, that one episode in Jukebox and her character literally saved the whole entire season. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I was cool on Raising Kanan.
Yeah, it was. This one was definitely better than the other ones.
Somebody DM me and was like, they think it's because they got too many storylines.
I think so because I think everybody, like I said, I think everybody's trying to tie this Kanan into the Kanan and Jukebox from Power.
But that's cool. But then I
think that's what kind of mess. That's why I say I think that's what kind of losing the attention of everybody because it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
No, but so my thing will be is then what's the purpose of Partisan Fontaine having a character? Like we talking about characters that they could kind of do it out of. Like I'm cool with them building up however they want, but what's part of like his character is kind of like pointless to be honest. Like they don't need him to kind of to build up Ghost and Jukebox. I don't need Partisan Fontaine or even the mom that's dying. Like who can't like your kids already screwed.
But the mom kind of, I think even with that whole family dynamic, I think she kind of.
Nigga, they already screwed up. What you can't make them worse than what they already are.
And that's what I'm saying. I just feel like, but kind of like she knows them, like she calling them out on their shit, and I think that's what kind of make them.
How's she calling them out, trying to getting them to kill her?
She calling them out on their shit, and I feel like that's when everybody's starting to realize, damn.
You could have did without the moms. I'm not gonna hold you. Like the mom character right now, like, we talking about stuff that's just like unnecessary. The mom character is unnecessary. Like you don't need the mom. Like it's not like she brings no value to it. It's just like it's kind of just dragging like an extra storyline. Like those are the 2 storylines that's kind of just like what they here for. Especially we talking about just taking away kind of like the action, and maybe, like I said, we'll see how the partisan thing play out when they try to go sit here and run up in the dude house for the bread. We kind of called that one, whatever episode that was when the dude told him he had the money in his house. Like we kind of already knew, like you can't tell no niggas that you got money in your house. Like that's kind of out of pocket. Like him saying that, I already knew how that one was gonna play out, but just still, just like that character to me is just like. It's pointless. Like it kind of just don't, to me, it don't make no sense. Like I would rather you sit here and play more into like one of them, like the dirty cop, like that white dude who really may have been the one who got the body on Famous. Like he might have been the one who smoked Famous. If that's the case, like play into that character a little bit more. Like I don't necessarily know. Like it kind of feel like I don't know if this gonna be the final season.
But can you have another cop situation in there for real?
You can if that's who really smoked Famous.
Because everybody else is dead.
So that's my point. But power is built. You got to think about it.
No, power. Yes,
not even just all the power. Even BMF, like all of those shows is built around a dirty cop or a cop that got some type of in doing with the other characters. So it's kind of like, why not build on that police officer instead of giving me the grandma and giving me Paulus and Fontaine? It's like, what's the point of that? Like it's just I don't understand the actual point of those characters. Because even for Lulu, like even the woman that he dating at the studio, like it's kind of like it's not a necessity. Like it's cool, it's okay, but it's not okay when you kind of taken away, and it's gonna sound crazy, like kind of like Power's kind of built a little bit more for the violence. Like some of of course the storylines may seem crazy and they just always getting in the shootouts out of just the random, but it's kind of like, bro, you can't give you, it's almost like, damn, like all right, the whole entire summer you give your kids ice cream and cake and candy and all that, and then school year come back and here goes some vegetables. That's what I basically felt like. They were just like, bro, I don't care about those. You can't build no characters now. It's too late. We already 3 seasons or 4 seasons in. Like, I'm used to the guns and the violence and the selling the drugs. Like, you trying to give me some moral compasses with these characters now. Like, I don't want that. I didn't ask for that. That's not what I'm here to watch Power for.
Yeah, they need to get to where they met Tommy and Ghost. That's what everybody waiting for.
Yeah, they got to do something. But like I said, shout out to Raising Canaan. They did a huge. They saved 360. They did a complete 360. They saved the entire season. With that one, I do want to play real quick. It was another. Just these Jones is hilarious though.
If you only let him eat your coochie, is that an edible arrangement?
I shall be.
If you only
bro, this joke is funny. Like, and that's the only thing I hate.
It's a bunch of them joints.
But you know, it's so crazy. Like sometimes I don't know what's up with the Instagram algorithm now. But it's like, as soon as you like one video, it's like, bro, they flood you. Like I've been laughing at that little what is it called, the brown table. I've been laughing at that joke nonstop. I guess real quick, while we still kind of just got off of TVs, I can just kind of nip this one in the bud real quick. I'm not gonna lie to you, Netflix. I don't know when you talking about screwing up I'm talking about this was a layup. Like I don't know how you screw up a layup, and I speak so highly of Netflix all the time. I cannot believe what they did with the Pop the Balloon joke. And shout out to that couple, whoever came up with the original Pop the Balloon and the one who got the bag from Netflix. I feel like they finessed Netflix. I feel like they know what their audience is, and that's why they kind of allow Netflix to just do them. Because that's the only other way they kind of, okay, well, cool. We can still do our show on YouTube. Y'all gave us this free money to just kind of run with the idea because you didn't want to just seem like you were stealing from us. So you gave us the bag. You bought this. Like, the show was just completely stupid. Like, it's just dumb and it's gentrified. Like, it's no way in the hell. Like, bro, I could not believe how many white people I've seen. And it's so funny because let's be clear. It is some people who watch that show and they don't like. I know a girl who DM'd me. She's like, I hate that Pop the Balloon show because it just hit every stereotypical black person. They just make us look bad. I'm like, I hear you and I feel you, but I don't necessarily know if it's stereotypical stuff. I think it's just the reality of what the dating pool actually look like. And that's why I like this show, because I feel like it highlights how people's brain actually function in real time when it comes to dating, because that's how people really give it up. So to kind of watch them do all the, man, it was crazy. I don't even care about the white dude being super racist with the lady and whatever. I'm talking about the show was just trash before we even got there. Like, before you even get to that part of the junk, like, I don't even care about that. Like, bro, it's literally just the whole entire junk was just like, y'all gentrified a YouTube show. Like, why? Like, and it just like, you can, it's like, to me, it didn't make no sense to be like, all right, we about to sit here and take, I don't even necessarily know if I ever even seen a white person on the Pop the Balloon, on any of them. From the 20v1 Jones or the what, it don't matter. I don't care which one you say. I don't know if I've ever seen a white person on any of them Jones. So for you to sit here and say, if it's, let's say if it's 15, or let's just sit here and say if it's a top 6. If it's a top 6 Pop the Balloon shows that people are very familiar with, and you never see no white people on it, there makes no sense to me for you to sit here and say, hey, I'm Netflix. I'm gonna get this. Okay, I'm gonna just get this. I don't even want to sit here and shade the lady, but I'm gonna get this lady off of TV. I'm gonna put her as the host, and I'm going to bring a bunch of white people in it. Like, how did that what made that make sense? Like, nothing about that.
But I think it's kind of smart on their behalf.
On who behalf? Netflix or
on Netflix?
How?
Because now, all right, I'm tired. You, like you said, you see us do certain things. You think, all right, maybe I can catch it and get another audience looking towards it. So let's say, all right, you said mostly blacks are on that, on the Pop the Balloon, the original joint. But now, all right, I'm putting it on Netflix where I know my audience is even wider. Let me try to see if I can finesse, the white audience to like it too.
I mean, I don't know, though. I just can't.
That's the only thing I could think about.
But I feel like you got enough. Only reason why I say I don't agree with it, because you already got enough white shows is pandered to from the pod shows or all them other little dating shows. Netflix got endless dating shows on there from the what's that?
But like you said, but if they're killing them on YouTube, like I see your impact on YouTube. Let me try to bring that audience over here to me, and I can maybe get the white people to enjoy.
But why would I do that? And realistically, if you talking about, you already gonna have white people on there regardless. You already got your Love Is Blind and all those other dating shows that you already got this majority of a white audience. Just keep that audience that you already got. But you cannot sit here and then it's not even the same thing about it is like these white people on there ain't even just like authentically white people. Like, it's not even like it might even been okay with it if it was just like some white people that's trying to be black, or even some OD crazy like Trump type of white boy. But if you sitting here saying you giving me like reality TV show, like what's the original Jones, like the Room Raiders and what's the other joint? The next joint that was on MTV. Like, you giving them type of white people, like, bro, I'm cool on that. Like, I've seen that a million times. Like, you are taking away the originality of it, and it's just like, to me, it's just dumb. Like, that didn't make no sense. Like, why would you sit here like this was your opportunity? Like, for Netflix with the Pop the Balloon show and keeping it straight black and keeping it ghetto, that was your opportunity to compete with the Zeus Network. Like, that was your layup to sit here and say,
that's probably not their goal to compete with Zeus. Like, why would they want to compete with Zeus?
Then what's the purpose of even bringing that type of show on it?
Like you said, to white it up.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
If they wanted it to be all black people, they wouldn't have picked it up. Then send it to Tubi or Zeus or something like that. They put it on Netflix for a broader audience. They didn't care about whitening it up.
Yeah, that made the show horrible, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I said, shout out to the people.
Responses and the answers still on a similar basis, or is it like even totally like
no? Because it's not a written thing about. I'm gonna tell you why, because and the reason why, and like I said, because if you're not white, I don't even know what a white person's real answer is to those dating scenarios. Like, when you the thing that make the show original and make it relatable, because I'm black, I date black women, so I've heard this response before. If I'm watching this show and I'm single, I could be like, and I see something that's like somebody get their balloon, all the balloons pop, and the reason why is some reason like that I can relate to. That's what makes the show relatable. But for you to sit here and say, now I'm gonna completely change it, who is this relatable to now? I don't know. I'm not white, so I can't sit here and say, like, maybe if I was a white person and I was watching this, I may feel differently about it. But I'm not white, so this show that I originally fell in love with or like because I sit here and can relate to the reasons why people was popping the balloon, or I'm thinking like, damn, I'm kind of in the same boat as this man, and all the women in here just popped the balloon. So it kind of it made it super relatable to me. So now you completely took the relatability away for the black audience that made you want to sit here and buy the show from them or release it or whatever you did from them. You didn't sit here and like, it wasn't a white version for a reason. That's my point. Like, you sit here
they didn't come up with it. They couldn't think of nothing like that. So now that they saw it, they took it and they flipped it and they go and make it into their own. They don't care about losing the black. They don't, as long as you have a Netflix, they don't care nothing about that.
Yeah, well, shout out to Netflix. We'll see how it works or how long they keep it. I think if you don't have that original audience, I don't necessarily know how long it works. Like, sometimes I think for some shows, like, you need that. I mean, like I said, we'll see. We'll see. Me personally, I can't see it working. I don't see it lasting so much longer with you kind of rubbing your original audience the wrong way. But I do want to get into, I guess one of the bigger things that's going on via social media right now, especially TikTok, is the tariff stuff. And it is the people over in China showing you them making all the Louis bags, the Nikes, the Lululemon. And the crazy thing is so funny about the Lululemon thing is because I guess the owner of Lululemon, the song that I told y'all about last week, what's the name of that song? Whammy, that little, when she got that little bar name, but she talking about the Lululemon. The owner came out and like I guess he heard like because the joint was going viral, and he was basically like, I don't want that attached to my brand or this, that, and the third. So of course, like I said, leading into with the tariffs, basically the Chinese people showed y'all that they got the knockoff Lululemon. You won't even know the difference. I mean, and realistically, right now, I mean, to be honest, if you do buy from, I think that's the scary thing that I guess for most people, like if you are somebody like myself, if you really be buying off of TikTok Shop and Shein or any of them other places, you kind of just, you kind of wondering if they're going to affect the prices right now. I guess the only thing I would sit here and say realistically, you may want to try to get order from them like as soon as you can, or because I don't know, before they really kind of get to taxing it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't necessarily know how long that one is going to last without them actually taxing it. But I'm going to play a couple of clips from some of these people that was talking about it.
Not a shock to me that China is exposing the game. It's sad to me that most of you guys didn't know the game. If you're not familiar, a bunch of Chinese accounts are on TikTok. They're probably all over your FYP too. But what they're doing is showing you that most brands will buy, let's say, a bag. They'll buy the bones of a bag. Most of the bag will be manufactured in China. Then when they get the bag in Europe or to the American company, they'll maybe put some finishing touches on it. And that allows them to say it was made in America, made in Italy, yada, yada. But the reality is most of the bag was made in China. And a lot of brands are doing that just to create insane profit margins on what they want to tell you are luxury items. I saw one of the creators call this brand brainwashing, but no, this is brand whitewashing. This is market whitewashing. This is making sure that Eurocentrism and whiteness is seen as the pinnacle of products when it comes to the world market. But why when I'm walking around Chinatown or when all you guys are on AliExpress or DHgate and you guys are getting the foo-foo designer, it's unclockable? Because it's the same stuff. It's because like a lot of you guys need to wake up and realize that great products, luxury products, quality products, a lot of these things not only don't cost a lot of money, but they come from so many places around the world that don't center whiteness and capitalism. And stop letting them tell you that it's supply and demand. No, it is demand and supply. They will go where it flows. We determine what these products mean and how much they'll cost. If nobody buys a Chanel bag ever again, I guarantee you Chanel will figure out how to get it to you. I guarantee. It's not a shock to me that.
So real quick, just to even, and I'll play one more or two more of those clips because it is a Chinese dude actually in one of those factories and kind of breaking some of them down. The only thing I guess where it can help people out, because I do agree with him, like you see people all the time doing those DHgate hauls, or even now, I mean, of course, because TikTok got their own TikTok shop now, so a lot of people just kind of lean into the TikTok shop, but it just kind of lets you know where it's like, you like, dog, I don't necessarily know, like, I hope people, and let's be clear, I think a lot more people will be comfortable wearing fake knockoff stuff now, especially that you seeing these videos and the videos are going super viral and it's starting off the conversation. Because I do think a lot of people just waste money because you're trying to fit in, and that kind of go even into the conversation that we was having last week when I was asking you, like, all right, hey, when do the kids get to kind of learn or figure out their own swag? And I even think for some adults, it takes people a long time sometimes. I think sometimes for some people, until you actually get comfortable in your own skin, it's a lot harder to pull some of those things off. Like, I think you have to really be like, you have to be cool with yourself or have a huge personality. Like, shout outs to Donnie. Like, Donnie be like, them people be reaching out to Donnie and she be selling the sneakers or be pointing people to the direction of whatever the vendors are, and like whatever Chinese vendor to reach out to her or pay her to sit here and do TikTok videos. But she's confident in her. Like, she know how to make it funny. She know how to sell it. So it's kind of just like, I think a lot of times with a lot of those things, it's kind of just like who got it on and how you presenting it. Like, even when you sit here saying, if you got the right body type, you can go Shein crazy. Because, like, think about, even when you think about like Young Miami or you think about Ari or any of them, I remember I used to have this conversation with this girl I was talking to all the time. I'm like, bro, all the times when they go viral, they be having the most super cheap stuff on. Maybe their heels may cost some bread or their bag, but their whole entire outfit 9 times out of 10 used to be like a Shein outfit or a Fashion Nova outfit. So I don't necessarily think, I think sometimes when people feel like I'm trying to hide myself in designer, it's just realistically because you don't have no confidence in who you are or your body type or whatever. Because the better you look, or the more confident you feel in your body type, or the more confident you feel in how you look, you kind of don't care about some of these things. So I do think realistically, a lot of times this stuff kind of, maybe it may be eye-opening for some people where it's kind of just like, all right, am I really getting finessed? Because it do seem kind of crazy. Because if you see some of them jumps, like when I be looking at the shoes, I'm like, dang, this joint's kind of look too. I feel like sometimes my feet just too big for some of that stuff, so I wouldn't try it for myself personally. But if I'm sitting here trying to like, you trying to buy something for somebody who got like a more of a regular size, like you wear like a 7 or 8 or a 9, I may try it. Because I'm just sitting here saying, like, you seeing, especially right now, while China really trying to hold their nuts on the whole situation and be like, hey, we can cut out the middleman. Y'all don't got to go to Nike, or you ain't got to go to Foot Locker, and you can come straight to us, and we'll still give it to you for the low. It's like, I mean, what you really got the risk for real? For you sit here saying you paying, especially for most people who can't buy the shoe strictly from Nike or from Foot Locker, and you got to buy it after the resale market. What is going to hurt you to sit here and be like, I'm going to try it. Let me sit here and pay him $50 and see what happened instead of me sitting here paying $200, $300. But like I said, a lot of that dude just come with confidence. I'm going to play the clip of the Chinese dude first before I play one of a black dude.
Rob you blind and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs only ship your job to China, not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap laborers. And in the process, they hollowed out your middle class, crushed your working class, and told you to be proud while they sold your future for profit. And yes, China made money, but we used it to build roads, lift millions out of poverty, fund healthcare, raise living standard. We reinvested in our people. My family also benefited from it. What did your oligarchs do? They bought yachts, private jets, mansions with golf course driveways. They manipulate the market, dodged tax, and poured billions into endless wars. And you get stagnated wages, crippling healthcare costs, cheap dopamine, debt, and flagged wave poverty made in China while they pick your pocket. For 40 years, both China and the United States benefit from the trade, the manufacturing, but only one of us use that wealth to build. This isn't China's fault. This is yours. You let this happen. You let the oligarchs fit your lies while they made you fat, poor, and addicted. Now they blame China for mess they made. I don't think so. I don't think you need another tariff. You need to wake up. You need to take your country back.
So, like I said, just I guess my only thoughts, and even I guess before we even start recording, it was a story that was breaking with Louis Vuitton. I believe they have a factory in Texas where they can't get people to come and work because they are only paying $17 an hour trying to finish up some of those products. Like even what they were saying, where they get the majority of the bag made in China, then they'll send it back to America or wherever to sit here and say it's made in such and such. Because I mean, that's even with American cars. I've been hearing a lot of that conversation with people saying, well, hopefully that'll help like Ford or whatever the case may be, or Chevy or a Cadillac to start making their jumps, but some of their parts still were coming from China. So like I said, I don't necessarily know. I'm not a huge, I hate, the only thing I really hate, I hate a lot of times when you listen to even the news or the radio or the podcast, when they talking about tariffs and they try to go to the extreme. I feel like you don't even have to go to the extreme if you're being honest with your audience and you kind of know your audience is like, bro, I know everybody and their mother be buying stuff off a TikTok shop now. Like I've seen, like the crazy thing is like I've seen PacSun sell their stuff through the TikTok shop now. And I'm like, damn, it's like, what the hell? And it's attached to like literally Pumbaa do the same thing. Now, like you can go on the TikTok shop and it's like a Pumbaa, their account, a real Pumbaa joint is attached to a TikTok shop now. So now you can still hit and sell through those things. So I think a lot of times where it's now is like, that to me is what more be a little bit more scary, because I ordered a bunch of stuff and I was kind of like, damn, I hope it come through. And it came through, but it was just like, even with the tracking process, I felt like it was off a little bit from what it normally was when I ordered it, like maybe months in like previously, but like ordering a bunch of stuff last week, I was like, all right, well, let me sit here and get a bunch of hats and whatever case may be. And I think, again, I will always tell people, especially for the dudes, if you never bought nothing off of Shein, now if you got like the pause, you got the perfect body type for it and you ain't really got no gut, you can go crazy and order whatever you want from Shein. But if you still got you a dad bod or your body kind of like structured a little funny, you got to be careful with Shein. Like the pants part, it'll be perfect. You whatever type of sweatpants, shorts, whatever you want to order from there, it's cool. And the only thing I would sit here and say is if you pay attention, like if you go on the TikTok shop and you see the same thing that you seen maybe on Shein, like pay attention to, like even on the TikTok, it's these little pants. I ain't gonna buy them because I just it's too hot for to be buying sweatpants. But it's like these little flannel, or I guess what this what they call the Jones stretch at the bottom, like the bottom open up like bell bottoms. I think they call them flare pants or whatever they call them now. But it's a pair of them Jones where if you see them on Shein, they got them for like $11. But at the TikTok shop, they $25. But the Jones on the TikTok shop look more like thicker pants, where the Jones on Shein kind of look like almost like the basketball, like pull away Jones, like out of that material. I guess like it's not a swishy material, but it's more like I don't even know what you call it. Like to me, if you're a man and you order stuff from Shein, all I would say realistically, if you work out, then just use it for workout clothes. That would be my best bet to you. Where I'm to be just my honest opinion from buying enough stuff to kind of be like, they get it right with the bottoms, but their tops be crazy. Like their tops is literally just made to just literally work out on. So like, don't be trying to sit here. I know, like I said, now if you somebody you got like a complete 6-pack or you super bony, then you cool. You can go crazy. You may be able to get you a little club outfit to be able to rock to Shein. But if you like, my shoulders and my chest is just too big, just to the point where it's like, bro, you don't have no choice, but you only can wear these shirts to the gym. Like it just fits stupid regardless. Like it fit cool for a gym shirt, but it don't fit cool to be like, I'm gonna go wear this to a concert or something. So, and again, like I said, even with the tariffs, I do think that kind of make people kind of like, maybe I gotta go to the mall now. And that's the thing that I'm talking about. Like that to me is like the more normal everyday person conversation. Because even when people talking about the iPhone's going to go up and this and the third, and I did see a joint where I think that they sit here and said they won't put tariffs on no electronic devices with them. Shit, it's a joint, right? I show it to you. You can go on.
Well, if they're not putting it on, I think but you got to think about the shipment wise, because even Nintendo was saying that they pushed their shit back because of that.
Yeah, well, maybe Nintendo not in pocket enough with Trump, but I seen it. I thought I sent it to you. It's a joint where it sit here and said that they not putting no tariffs on no electronics. It said no iPhones, no no iPhones, no laptops, no tablets, and what else was it? It was something else. I can't remember what it was, but I know for a fact it was iPhones, tablets, and laptops. And I think a key fogs or something with the electronical keys. I want to say that was the thing. But like I said, with all that even being said, it's still just to the point of it's like, I kind of make it wonder, because even just like when you're talking about how easy it is to order from Shein or the TikTok shop, I kind of was like, damn, I'm glad I don't sell clothes no more, because to me it's like, how can you realistically compete? Now, of course, now the quality, like I said, that quality, like if I'm looking for, like especially if you older and you was kind of brought up on streetwear clothes, like you know that cotton that you're looking for on a t-shirt, you don't want it to be like that smooth feeling. You kind of want that thick cotton feeling. You want the shirts to be, even if you like oversized t-shirts, like, and that's the crazy thing how Shein finesse you. Like it'll look like an oversized t-shirt, and that junk, because it's not made out of that material, it's not going to sit like an oversized t-shirt. Like the sleeves may be, I mean, it's just stupid. Like don't play yourself. Like don't, like some of this stuff you kind of got to learn to just don't play yourself. Like you cannot get no oversized nothing from Shein. It's not going to work for you, dog. I'm sorry. Just like I said, use it for some gym clothes, for some airport outfits, or something to just lay around in the house with, but don't sit here and waste your bread thinking I'm about to go get me a fit for Chris Brown or beyond. Like women can do whatever, but that still go into body type, but still tying it back into is like, I wonder like if they clamp down on some of those things, will it help some of like, if I got my stuff made in America? Like I said, when I used to order t-shirts from Atlantic Coast, Cotton Nose is like, that's an American junk. Like they make the shirts in Virginia. So it's a little bit different. So I do kept thinking like, damn, if I had a clothing line right now, and we talked about that before when we was looking at Nike, when we was looking at the Juju t-shirts, when it was like a $45 t-shirt, me spending $45 on a t-shirt compared to, damn, I can go get on Shein or I can go on a TikTok shop and you competing with a $5 or a $12 t-shirt, it's a lot different. Like it make it way harder for me to sit here and say, I'm gonna buy a $45 t-shirt compared to I'm gonna buy a $10 t-shirt.
But I think that the what's name kind of put more pressure on the companies, because you're not going to up your prices, I think. Because like I said, that's probably why you was getting off those prices. Because I think it's more so of the shipment, right? That's what the tariff is like, when you get the shipment. So I think now if you just talking about ordering stuff off a line, they might go up on their shipping price, but how, like the reason why you go to Shein is because of the cheap
stuff. So yeah, so that's my point. So that's why I'm sitting here saying like if you kind of shoot in Trump some bail when it comes to the American stuff, where it's like, okay, that may turn me off now, because if you're saying now I can't get a t-shirt from Shein for $5, now you're talking about the cheapest shirt on there maybe $20. Now I'd rather just go to the store somewhere. I could rather go to Old Navy or go to H&M or go to Zara or go wherever you were going before. You was like, oh, I can just go order something from Shein, or I can go order something from the TikTok shop. Like when they start to up those prices on the shipping, I do think realistically it'll make it 100 times harder. So I honestly don't necessarily know. So again, like I said, with that one, that would be my only. I guess I'll play this one last jump from the TikTok jump.
So now we know why America really didn't want us to see what they was doing over.
He just repeating the same thing that they already said. So we can kind of get. I do want to get into this jump because it was a picture from my mixtapes and it was floating around of the. It's two topics I want to get into. The first one is mixtape Mount Rushmore, and on this picture it was Lil Wayne, Gucci Mane, Currency, and Future. And I think for most people, and of course, my mixtapes is more catered to the South. So I've seen a lot of people up north like, damn, no 50 Cent, no Dipset. Even if you kept it South, I still don't think Currency should be holding it over Jeezy. Like, that don't even make no sense to me. Like, because of this, I understand that Currency got a huge fan base, but Currency ain't made enough money rapping like Jeezy did off of Trap or Die. Just one mixtape for Jeezy.
But I think it was more. So I think Currency probably utilized mixtapes more than Jeezy.
You can't say that. Jeezy's career started off a Trap or Die.
Right, it started, but then once he was him, he ain't do too many more mixtapes. Right?
He still hell yeah. He got all his jobs on streaming platforms now. Nigga, he like 10.
No, I get it, but I'm saying, but during that mixtape era, I feel like Currency. That was his whole career. No,
yeah, but it was his whole career. Just because I feel like you cannot punish somebody because your career tapped out at. Because your career just tapped out at mixtapes. But I can't celebrate you.
But no, but the conversation is who got the best discography in mixtape, not the actual. Because like that's just like why I'm like, damn, Fabulous should be on that Mount Rushmore. Because when you talk about catalog wise, who besides him and Wayne, who else got better catalogs when it comes to mixtape? You talking about you got the Soul Tape and the Summertime Shootout. What was the other one he had? So that's what I'm saying. I feel like
Summertime Shootout, and he had the Soul
Tape.
Yeah,
and I think it was another one.
There's no competition.
Yeah, there's no competition. So that's what I'm saying. For catalog wise, and then like how Wayne had the Drought, Dedication, and No Ceilings. Like when we talk about catalog, you know what I'm saying? That's what I look at it. And that's why I said even with Currency, I feel like
I'm cool. I'm cool with if you sit here saying if you want to not be biased and take out and give one up north person, I'm cool with putting Fabulous right there. I can't argue with that because I do think I don't want to punish Fabulous for kind of never knowing how to make a good album compared to his mixtapes. Like Fabulous, his greatest catalogs is his mixtapes. Mm-hmm. So for Fabulous to even still have a career, it's realistically off the strength of his mixtape. So if you asking me, so now you sitting here saying who had a bigger career? Is it Fabulous or is it Currency? It's Fabulous. So it's kind of like I get what you're saying. Where it's like, okay, cool. Nobody can't argue with.
Because it was great. Because I was going to ask you this before I even heard Roy and them talking about it. I was going to ask you like, what is your top 5 like when it comes to mixtape?
I don't think, but even for me, wouldn't put Fabulous in my top 5 for mixtape just because
really?
like his Jones was cool, but it was
who would your top 5 be right now when you just saying just off of mixtapes?
It'd be Wayne, Future, Gucci, and man, I may even say I don't know. I don't know. Like that's why I'm not mad at the saying the Fabulous thing because I could, but really, because even when you saying mixtapes, I'm still thinking like I almost wanted to say the Migos because they had a bigger song off of a mixtape than any of them.
Yeah, but I think you just going off of one song. But that's what I'm saying. When I say mixtape, I'm like you had a whole era, like you had a whole run. Because like even with me, I would sit here and say like, okay, give me Wayne, give me Fab. I would even put I would put Wale in there. I would put probably and Jay Mills because his mixtape series of the Virgo joint. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Something like that. And I would even put Wiz Khalifa from Old Cushion Orange Juice. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I feel like people, they're running.
But listen to what I'm saying. So even with what you just said, your joint is still kind of, it's all over the place where it's like, okay, Wiz got one elite joint, and you could argue whatever the other joint with the Cuban cigar on the joint, I could give him 2, but he got one elite joint. That Cushion Orange Juice is elite. Like, you could talk about that's a top 10 greatest mixtape of all times, but that's it. So it's kind of like you celebrate him for 1, then that would go. I can still go back to my argument with Jeezy with Trap or Die 1. But like you get no Wayne. You get no Wayne
so
and Drama.
Now that's what I was about to say. Does Drama go on there because he had?
He can't. He don't have to go on there because he gonna go up under all of these people.
But I just feel like him just as a whole, just that because I'm saying how many different artists he dealt with. Cause shit, to me, I still think the Pharrell Gangsta Girl is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean, I think with all of them Jones, it's I mean, I guess it's what you like in music, but then I kind of like, what's the criteria? Because you still gotta like, what is that? What's the, like, even for Currency, like, what's the Currency mixtape that everybody gonna know? Like, this saved Currency whole career.
Damn, was it Jet Set or something like that?
But that's my point. It's something like, you shouldn't have to struggle with it, because you're not struggling when you say Fabulous. You didn't struggle when you said Wiz. You didn't struggle when you sit here and said Jeezy. You didn't, like, it's something, honestly, you don't struggle. Like, it's kind of like, or even if I can see and say, well, this song came off of this mixtape.
So what? Okay, so
like a mixtape, when you see if you put somebody on a Mount Rushmore jump, they have to have a mixtape that changed their career.
Okay, so what about Chance the Rapper? Because that what's name was a mixtape, right? The color, I mean, his first album that was a mixtape that turned
into an album.
So do you give him because you said how even with the Jeezy, like you just had that one album that changed their career?
Only reason why I would say, only reason why I would say no, and then that's when you kind of going back to Currency is like the difference between Chance and Currency is Chance. I mean, Currency still has a rap career off of mixtapes, where Chance is like, okay, yeah, you had a great mixtape that put you there, but it's kind of like, that's it. Like, it's like he even had, like, he had the acid rap jump before that, but it's still none of them jumps was like, okay, cool. I don't necessarily, Chance can't tour them jumps right now. Where I will give Currency some credit. Currency can tour and maintain his livelihood off of his mixtape series. That's why, like, I see somebody put him up there, I understand it, but I personally wouldn't do it. I personally couldn't agree with it and be like, oh yeah, this makes sense. There's no way in hell I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, Currency is on Mount Rushmore of anything. Maybe if you say is he, I don't even like you. Because
okay, but Travis Scott, because that what's name, Rodeo, whatever, that was the mixtape, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do you put him? Because that's why I said that's probably more of the newer era where it kind of get tricky with.
But it's still like I can't even like that,
because and you talking about you put it up on streaming platforms and it did them numbers.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Travis Scott just got a different type of fan base. But even still, for Travis, I think he built a fan base off of that. But can't sit here and say
mixtapes made him.
Yeah, like to be honest, in my personal opinion, I feel like Sicko Mode made Travis Scott. Like I hear what people can say whatever you want. I remember him putting out the joint project with Quavo, and Quavo was the bigger star at the time. And that other mixtape that you talking about was already out. So it's kind of like I get it, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's some jokes where I'm like, this mixtape changed this person's whole entire career. For when I see him say the Migos, that YRN joke, the first joke changed their whole. That Versace was on there, Bando was on there, all of their Hannah Montana, all of their Chinatown, all of their biggest songs was on that very first mixtape. That changed their whole entire career. Like you said, even with Wiz, you see him say, okay, cool, with Question Orange Juice, I can't argue that. And that's why, like I say, if you just want to be a non-biased person and throw one person from up north, I'm cool with putting Fabulous on there. I'm not mad at that, because I hear a lot of people. I've seen people when they was talking about 50 Cent, and it was kind of just like,
I really didn't hear 50 Cent.
Exactly, I didn't. My first time hearing 50 Cent was Wankster.
Even with me, when you say like even Future, I didn't know Future. Like I said, I wasn't listening to Future. Like, I've heard Future songs, but I never really heard those mixtapes of Future.
Yeah, but I can tell you songs that you heard.
That's what I'm saying. No, I've heard. Just even with Gucci, I don't feel like I really know too many Gucci actually mixtapes. Like, I've seen
you don't
a lot
know him by name, but you know the songs.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But I've seen him featured on a lot of different mixtapes, but I never know his like mixtape project. Because even like with the Nicki Minaj joint, the little Sucker Free joint, like I remember that joint, but I don't remember like Gucci. I think what was the Wall? I think it was one
Will
of the Chamberlain. No, I don't think it was a Will Chamberlain. I think it was like a Wall joint. I think that was the only one I might remember off the top of my head as a Gucci mixtape. Because, like I said, I don't remember too many projects, but I know
Gucci's biggest songs came off of mixtapes, from Bricks to whatever popular Gucci song you know, even for Nicki Minaj, Slumber Party, that was on a mixtape. So it's like you can for something like even for Future, that Racks on Racks, that was on a mixtape. Like, you can't. So that's what I'm saying.
Do OJ the Juice Man get any type of?
I think we could put OJ when we come in this other conversation. So just while we sit here talking about lists or talking about stuff that people had going on. So TrapsNTrunks is like they are more heavier in the South only kind of content. If you go on the TrapsNTrunks junk, you will not see no up north rappers on none of their pages at all. Like, nothing. Everything that they post is strictly down south rappers. So their top 10 trap rappers of all times is number 1 was Gucci, number 2 was Jeezy, number 3 was T.I., 4 was Yo Gotti, 5 was OJ the Juice Man, number 6 was Future, 7 was Young Dolph, 8 was Young Scooter, 9 was Pee Wee Longway, and number 10 was Bankroll Fresh. no disrespect to Bankroll Fresh or Pee Wee Longway, but you automatically got to take them two off. Like, it's just don't like it. It just, they one end, I mean, and Pee Wee Longway got a lot of music out, but he ain't got, though. Not even just to be in that conversation with the other 8 people. I kind of would like, and I understand that they from the South, and I don't know if people try to count VA as the South, but and I'm not even a huge Pusha T fan, but I feel like it's disrespectful to have a trap rappers list so without having Pusha T on it.
That's what I was kind of wondering, because you didn't see either a Pusha T or a Jay-Z on there. So that's why I'm just like, is it more of the your careers? I mean, because like I said, they talk about drugs and all that. So that's why I'm saying, how you don't have them.
I mean, I feel like Jay-Z, I mean, I think Jay-Z just because Jay-Z became such a great rapper, I don't think people even put him in that conversation. But I think if you was sitting here saying, okay, no South bias, and you were just talking about actual, because even with T.I., it's like I understand that T.I. put out the album Trap Music, but if I'm going into T.I.'s discography compared to everybody else on this list, I don't necessarily know T.I. supposed to be on this list. After that first album, after Trap Music, T.I. kind of like completely, like, I ain't saying he's saying he went away from talking street stuff, but we talking about trapping, like, first off the strip, number 1 should be Jeezy, just because Jeezy got a whole 2 platinum albums, double multi-platinum albums off of rapping about literally trapping. That, like, Gucci ain't never, we talking about mainstream success, ain't never sniffed a ounce of Jeezy's draws when it come to mainstream success. And we talking about Jeezy his commercial songs are completely selling drugs. So it's like, you kind of like that, just not having Jeezy number 1 is absolutely disrespectful and ridiculous. But to me, I still, like I said, I would put Pusha T on it. I would take Pee Wee Longway off. I put Pusha T on there. For Bankroll Fresh, I could probably argue, I seen some people saying Shorty Low. I don't know if Shorty Low got enough projects. I kind of would rather go ESTG, to be honest, just to add somebody new on it. Like, so like I said, to me, if I'm going just to take those 2 off, I don't really want to argue the T.I. thing, because T.I., I mean, his album, you can still argue that Trap Music album helped still kind of usher in the room for the Jeezys and the Yo Gottis and Gucci's and to do what they do. So I feel like you can't disrespect T.I. in that way. So it's like, okay, cool. If I'm going to take 2 people off, I want to go number, and even if I put Pusha T on there, I kind of want to put Pusha T higher than, but I understand this is a South list. But I think, like I said, I think they disrespect Pusha T maybe because he's from Virginia and it's not the deep South.
Yeah,
but
I'm trying to think, what else did he even rap about?
Who, Pusha T?
Yeah,
nothing but drugs. Ain't no, that is you no, go if you search search Pusha T name via social media, that's all you will see people say is all Pusha T talk about is selling drugs. That's all Pusha T rap about. So that's why I say, and because the South, he from the South, he ain't from Arlington, Virginia. He's from Norfolk, Virginia. Like, that is the country. Like, that's literally only maybe an hour away from North Carolina. So that's what I'm saying, is that you gotta, like, cool. I get what the swag that they was trying to do with the list, but I think this list is non-violent if you don't got Pusha T on it. And I'm not a Pusha T fan, but I know for a fact I listen to enough Pusha T songs. He be talking crazy on them songs, and all he talking about is selling work. So yeah, that would be my only person. Like I said, I'll take Pee Wee Longway off. I'll take Bankroll Fresh off, and I'll put ESTG, because there's no way you can kind of, like, again, rest in peace to Bankroll Fresh, but you can't sit here and say people calling ESTG the new Jeezy and then have a list where it's like, I don't know how many people even really like Bankroll Fresh had 2 like cool songs, but and okay, I walk in my trap, turn over my trap, like, all right, cool. I like rest in peace to Bankroll Fresh. Not trying to disrespect them, but I can't compare. If I'm going catalog for catalog, Bankroll Fresh cannot do nothing with ESTG. Nothing. Like, ain't even close. Like, that wouldn't even be a fair, like, that's not even a fair type of battle. So again, like I said, that is TrapsNTrunks top 10 trap rappers. Like I said, OJ the Juice Man was on there, and I'm cool with OJ being number 5. I probably would realistically, if I would switch. Only thing I would switch out, I would go Jeezy 1. I would go Yo Gotti 2, Gucci 3, and I understand people probably wouldn't want to put Gucci at 3, but Yo Gotti, just for how Yo Gotti, we talking about even in detail into the music, because like Gucci make a lot of silly trap songs, but Yo Gotti be talking crazy, and then Yo Gotti then introduce so many other type of people.
Do somebody like Master P, do he get any type of credit from like how he started off with the?
Man, you know what's so crazy, man? You know what's so crazy? I seen the most disrespectful thing. Van Lathan tweeted out, "Who was better, Master P or Birdman?" I said, bro, don't ever in your life disrespect Master P like that. Like I understand maybe because Master P, and sometimes that is the worst thing for some people is like the longer your legacy lives on, you can kind of water it down. And I think sometimes because how Master P presents himself now to the public, he watered what he accomplished down completely. Because when you see Master P now, it just give like the corny uncle. Like it ain't from who Master P is. Have you ever seen About It, the movie?
Hold on. To argue with you, do you really think it's that big of a difference? When we talk about actually rapping, like if you listen to what Master P was rapping and what Birdman was rapping, neither one of them was.
No, listen, I'm not saying neither one of them was no great lyricist, but Master P carried shit by himself. About it is Master P. I'm about it.
So you okay? So you saying Birdman can't do it?
Birdman do not have a track where it's just Birdman.
Okay,
and you like
Right, he can't. He couldn't do a CD by himself where it's Birdman.
No.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I go with you.
Hell no.
Because I was just about to say, I'm like, but neither one of them was really good.
No. But neither one of them was great at rapping. But even when you talking about this, because just what you just when we talking about this top 10 trappers of all time, trap rappers of all times, like I get it. Like even if you were sitting here saying. But so I said Master P has done so like it's just because the way he presents himself now is so corny. And I don't mean and this is what I'm saying. I don't mean this
the ice cream man.
Nigga, I Master P and ice cream man cook dope like this, make crack like this. Like Master P, look, that's what I'm telling you. That's why when you see his but Master P has done that to himself. Master P trying to sell niggas shoes and try to do all this other stuff. His suits be too tight and he got this big ass grandpa dad body. Like Master P, he fucking his own legacy up. Like that ain't the people fault. He doing that to himself.
But when you say that, but it really is he messing his legacy up because when you look at somebody like Kanye, who's messing their legacy up more, I feel like Kanye's did shit. Listen, that's what I'm saying. Like how
but the difference is where it's like nigga when Master P was at his peak. It wasn't like it wasn't no Diddy or none of them other niggas yet. Like Master P was the bar at one point in time. So, but when you see Master P now, like even when you think, but just even like look, perfect example, like Dame Dash, people don't give Dame the same respect as he did when Rockefeller was Rockefeller. Sometimes you can live long enough to water down your brand. Shit, look at Irv Gotti. Rest in peace to Irv Gotti. He was on his way. Every time he got on Drink Champs, he was fucking his legacy up. You can absolutely water down your legacy. It don't matter how much cool stuff you do. If the more you get on camera, the more you present yourself, you can water your brand down.
So where do you think, like, I mean, where do you think he went wrong really in the public eye? Because me personally, we just always looked at him as a hustler trying to find a way. But
I think you will respect the hustle if the hustles actually work. Because for example,
them chips and all like that's what I'm saying. Like,
they're cool. He should have stopped there. If Rap Snaps was his thing, you could have stopped there and nobody wouldn't care. But then when you try to do a cereal, when stuff don't work, you look like B. Simone.
That.
You can't. No, I get what you're doing.
I get what you're saying.
He was trying to sell tennis shoes.
So hold on. So
like,
my question to you, because the brands wasn't as big. He get more of a hood brand than
his brands ain't even. But listen to what I'm saying, though, Marcus. But he could have listen to what I'm saying. If he would have stopped at like, let's just say he would stop at Rap Snaps and the Oodles and Noodles. That's cool. Like people respect it. They in 7-Eleven. They in every liquor store. No, if he could have just kept pushing them. I'm sure maybe the deal wasn't right, so that's why he trying to do other things. But when you try to do other things and the other things ain't right, perfect example. Shit, look at how niggas was kind of looking at LeVar Ball with the baller brand on. So it was like.
Yeah, and
that's his only. When we talk about LeVar Ball, his only flaw that people can sit here and say is he tried to push that big baller brand stuff, and them shoes was fugazi, and it kind of some people will sit here and say that was the reason why what's my boy Lonzo Ball got injured. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you can do too much. Like I said, I don't necessarily know what and that when you do sometimes when you do, but I'm saying though, sometimes even when you do too much, it make it look like your money funny. So now that make people question like,
and that's why I say because of the way his branding was more of a hood cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like because like I said, everybody do a lot of adventures and try products.
But some people make it work, and that's why like nigga like Diddy felt like that's why Diddy felt like he was untouchable because everything he was doing it was working.
Yeah,
he made that Ciroc that work. Even what's the last liquor he got on? Even when with people, it don't matter when he found his way with okay, cool. So I can make it work with Young Miami.
If he was able to still keep the No Limit brand, the rap label, working.
I don't even think you had to have. He don't even think he needed to have the rap label still work. He could have still, because Cash Money ain't. I mean,
because that's what I'm saying. Because still, and that's what I'm saying. When everybody do all these other, like even with Bad Boy with Diddy, yeah, he still had his music still backing him up, but all these other ventures that he could still advertise in was still working for him. So that's why it was easy.
Yeah, I think everybody else in that generation that came up around the same time as Master P had his run, or like even with him, Dame, I think all of them had something to work. Dame ain't had nothing to work,
right? But after I'm saying, but he had different little brands and different
none of them work.
But if he was still running Rockefeller and like how he was at that time, it would have worked, right?
Maybe. You can't guarantee none of that stuff. But all I'm just, because perfect example, shit, Beyonce it was a story that was floating around on the internet before she just put up whatever hair care product she just put in Ultra. All her businesses, they was like, Beyonce can't sell no product.
Yeah. And that's
that was the thing. That was a topic.
Like
they were saying that Beyonce couldn't sell product. So this was the first product that she kind of, but I think just realistically for Beyonce is because she's not like, I've seen a lot of people making that comparison, even with her and Rihanna. She's not as friendly when it comes to, or as personal with her fan base. Like Beyonce almost like Michael Jordan. It's like, I'm Beyonce and I'm out of sight, out of mind. I'm not really communicating with my people, where it's like some people communicate with their people like consistently via social media. Shit, even for look at how big LeBron is. LeBron still he still communicate. He still pick up the phone for Cass and that and still do little like shit that kind of tap in. So I think sometimes that stuff matter. Master P just literally every time I see Master P, I just be like, bro, I can't believe this used to be my favorite rapper when I was a kid. Like he's just so cheesy. Everything about Master P now is just cheesy as hell. Like, do you go watch Master P, I'm About It, the movie, and go look at Master P today in 2025? Like, you could be like, this can't be the same nigga. That's just it. And that's why that's why people won't never bring him up and put him in any of those lists, because sometimes the best thing to do is just to fall completely back. Allow your legacy to be your legacy and then just pop out and do an interview like once in a blue moon.
And right now, looking at it, it ain't too many people left, right? Especially like even with that whole, when you talk about that era, still running it like that, none of them really left.
Nigga, perfect. I'm gonna say perfect example who won't mess their legacy up and they just they sold their junk, fell back. QC. When you don't never see Coach K, you never see P. They done sold their junk and they just disappeared.
Who was that just came out? Said they messed. Who was Meg signed to?
I think whatever.
Yeah, I think he came out
Crawford or whatever his name was.
He messed out with her deal or whatever at the beginning.
I don't know. I don't really be paying him no attention. But again, I guess we can kind of get into a little bit more. I gotta say serious news. I do want to play this clip of Bow Wow. Bow Wow went on Funky Friday with Cam Newton, and I think sometimes, and of course I posted this on my TikTok, and the girl getting the comments, I don't want to be with no man that I got to teach him. And I said, you probably single. I don't even mean this in no disrespectful way. I don't even want to argue with you about it, because just you coming off and you just sound dumb to me. So like I said, I'm gonna play this clip of Bow Wow. But Bow Wow basically was giving Kyren Stephens her credit. Where is this clip at? Bow Wow, Bow Wow.
I would love to know your baseball lineup of like women. Kyren Stephens. What? You want to know why? You say why? I mean, the obvious. Okay. She's like, when you talk about a woman, you got to take out all the things that come to your mind when you say her name. If you really get a chance to know that woman. Am I tripping? No, you're not. I'm telling you, bro. She's different. And this is what I mean by different. Forget what she known for, forget what she do, all that. It's the fact that she know how to stay in your life for the rest of your life without being in your life. Like, that's some different type of power. And I'm gonna tell you how. It's something so simple. Probably one of the illest women I ever met in my life. And like the illest, she taught me how to wash clothes, bro. Something so simple. I did not know how to wash clothes. To this day, every time I can be with whoever, I don't care who I'm with, I don't care where I go. If I see a laundromat, Bounce, a Downy, the little bear, Kyren. I'm in Target, I see that, oh shit, Grant. I don't know. That woman is different, bro.
This is not the first time we've had somebody sit across me and
say her name.
Oh, for real? That's why I'm wild.
No, like, bro, listen, I can't make this shit up. I'm telling you, she's a woman. Like, you see how I'm looking? I'm trying to find it. Number one, she's smart as hell. She ain't no best bookseller, right? I mean, and she really writing them shits. Like, ain't nobody writing for her. Like, she really writing, going through dry. Like, she's doing all it.
So, like I said, it was some women who was trying to give some pushback. Like, I'm not teaching no grown man how to wash clothes. That's something your mother should have did. And my only thing and this is, listen to what I'm saying, but those be the women who be single for the rest of their life. Because what he said is, when you give somebody a life skill, when you teach somebody how to do something that's a life-changing, a life skill, something that they can take with them for the rest of their life, they're going to always think about you. Just like you said, washing clothes, or even if it was cooking a meal, where it's like, I'm sure, especially if just.
But you know what? I think a lot of them, even with, and not to say that I'm speaking for women, but I feel like a lot of them not even thinking about the whole process that she's older than him. So for you to sit here and say that I showed him how to wash clothes, like that's probably, I mean, if you was talking to somebody younger than you would have to show them something that they don't know.
Yeah, but again, sometimes when people comment on stuff, they kind of use their life experiences. You ain't never been Bow Wow. When was he gonna learn how to wash clothes? At what age? At the age where you sit here and say, okay, I'm gonna teach my kid how to wash clothes, Bow Wow was Bow Wow. He wasn't Shad Moss. He was Little Bow Wow. He was Bow Wow. The prime whatever age you learned how to wash clothes, Bow Wow was on the original Scream tour. And then after that, he was Mr. 106 in Park. Tell me what age group, when you normally learn how to do those things from 13 to let's sit here and say 21, 22, though that age group of people, guess what he was always? He was prime in his career. He was at his ultimate height. So when was he supposed to learn how to wash clothes? I'm a multi-millionaire. You think my mom going to tell me how to wash fucking clothes? Are we being serious right now? That don't make no sense to me. Like, what? Come on, dog. Can we be serious sometimes? But again, like I said, sometimes when you hear these stories, and especially you'll see so many women that just be OD bitter. They gotta get their bitter comment. I ain't teaching no man how to do. And I'm sure you single because you have never put no value into a man. Perfect example. We saw that last week. Remember when y'all was sitting here saying it's more than just having sex or whatever the case may be. Somebody can do something, and those things. Of course, we was talking about it last week, but y'all was absolutely right. What is something that somebody's going to do to you to change your life where you're not sitting here saying the only thing that I can lean on is sex? Because if it's only sex, then it's kind of like, bro, I can get that anywhere. But when you give somebody an upper hand and teach them how to do something completely different, it's like, oh, I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life. I remember the first time I had Alfredo because I grew up in an older house. My mother wasn't cooking no damn Alfredo. So you get some strip Alfredo. I will remember that for the rest of my whole entire life. And that sounds like something so small, but it's huge if you go from hot dogs and beans and pork chops and whatever the case may be. So the first time you get some Alfredo with some shrimp in it. And the crazy thing is, now the older I get, I've seen people, no, that shit was basic because she was cooking it out of the little pack junk. So you get to see somebody actually do Alfredo for real. It's a completely different. But at that time, I've never had it before, so it was mind blowing to me. The first time I ever a homemade stuffed lobster, I'm like, bro, oh my God. Like I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life because I remember that point of changing of hot dogs and beans, pork chops, some fried chicken maybe here and there. To like you talking about, damn, I could come home to some stuffed lobster. What? Like, nigga, that's mind blowing. I'm like, literally, so you're gonna remember that for the rest of your life. So those type of moments. But I think most women be sometimes you so ignorant to it, or you just don't want to do nothing to kind of make that man's experience completely different from saying I'm just gonna give him some box. Like, all right, cool, you just gonna give him some box, and it's gonna be 100 other women who gonna just give up some box too, and then it's gonna be like, what's gonna make you separate?
But my question is it because it's Kyren Stephan? Because if he would have said this story was Ciara, they'd be like, oh, girl, yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? They would have been praising her, right?
I think it make it 100 times tighter because it's Kyren Stephan. Every time I've never heard, listen to what I'm saying. And this is the crazy, because even Cam Newton said that this was the second person he had on his show that spoke so highly of her. Because niggas, like, because of course, most people, when you think of her, you talking about, superhead or whatever the case may be. But I've heard, I have never heard nobody talk bad about her before.
Now, I would feel some type of way, though, right?
What you mean?
Like, you sitting here trying to brag, like, damn, she changed my life and all this, and then, like, it's been other people that came up here too that said that. Like, now that's some shit that I might be in my, like.
No, because they just mean that they just speaks on how highly of her.
No, I get it, but it just felt like
about her. Lil Wayne never talked bad about her.
No, I get that part, but it's just like, damn, I'm sitting here trying to express myself, like, damn, this person really, but damn, somebody else felt the same way, like, damn, I ain't know.
But I think even when I don't think he cared about that because I think he was trying to explain to people it's just like she's a good person. She's a good person. It's a character trait. It don't have nothing to do with just
She been with everybody.
Yeah, that kind of like the part that nobody don't matter. To kind of switch gears a little bit because this little shit is funny. Oh my God, dog.
Not beating the Lakers without a healthy Chris Paul. I'm not so sure you could beat them if you had a healthy Chris Paul. It don't matter. Chris Paul, Claire Paul, Jake Paul, Logan Paul. Lakers in 5 now, Chris. You got Harden, you can have a party, you can get a garden. Lakers in 5. Tyler Hero, superhero, guitar hero. Lakers in 6. Serge Ibaka, Chewbacca, Waka Flocka. Lakers in 5.
Hey, Mo, I swear to God, these two girls is fucking hilarious. They be redoing everybody's video, but again, I guess real quick, just so we can kind of just touch down on it. I can kind of find a way to tie the sports into something else after we done. But shout out to the Lakers. The Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves will be going off first round. The Lakers are the 3rd seed. The Timberwolves are the 6th. The 4th and 5th will be the Nuggets and the Clippers. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to James Harden. James Harden put on a master class today. James Harden looked like Houston Rockets James Harden. Overtime, he was just like, give me the ball. And I'm not gonna lie to you. Of course, I never really respect Kawhi Leonard because I feel like people just always kind of try to throw him in there with the LeBron mix and put him as like they just his whole career was basically niggas was trying to say he was better than LeBron James. So I kind of never really gave him the proper respect that he may or may not deserve. It's kind of, I mean, at this point is kind of like it ain't even up for debate anymore. But I'm not gonna lie to you, watching him kind of put on in that 4th quarter, they were just giving him the rock and he was cooking. Like, let's be clear.
When he's healthy, he is.
No, he cold. Listen, what I'm saying, he cold, but I'm not gonna lie though. But I see where it was just like pause in his game where it was like, even when it got to overtime, it was like
he don't get that hungry.
I mean, he kind of got cold. Like Draymond Green kind of put just clamps on him, and James Harden was like, all right, nigga, just get out my way and give me the rock. James Harden literally started the overtime off, got 8 buckets back to back. I was like, damn, this nigga James Harden is in his bag. But again, like I said, James Harden, a lot of people wrote James Harden off. Niggas did not think, when people sit here and say, oh, Paul George was gone, Kawhi Leonard was injured, and he looked like they didn't know when he was going to be healthy. People literally, because I'm sure
and for you to sit here and I don't think record-wise, you've been in the top 5 most of the season.
What, the Clippers?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, they've been top 5. I mean, because like even right now, everything is tied up. But I'm saying, but they had a good record. They haven't dropped down that bad where they had a losing record.
I think their record being that good is what kind of probably even motivated Kawhi Leonard to kind of come back, because you didn't want it to make it be like, if they was cheeks and by the time he felt like he could come back, he wasn't gonna come back. But if you make it like, oh damn, they gonna make the playoffs, you ain't want like they athletes. You got an ego. You didn't want it to be like, damn, they make the playoffs without me. Let me sit here and let me come back and do something. But like I said, he was cooking. Go ahead, let's be clear. Steph Curry, when you can watch Steph Curry and he's not playing your team or he's not going up against your favorite player, bro, that nigga he is a bad guy. He is a defensive liability, and I do think that should be when people keep saying, like when Shaq be like, oh, I want to put him in a GOAT conversation and this and that. You cannot put nobody in nobody's GOAT conversation, and he gets subbed out for the last play of the game because it's a defensive jump. Like I can't put nobody in nobody's GOAT conversation if he can't play both ways. I'm sorry though. He's an amazing 3-point shooter. The way he run off of them picks and he be like, dog, I'm watching this and I'm like, dog, this nigga went from this baseline to that baseline, came back around just to get back to this baseline again to get himself open. I'm like, this nigga be running wide receiver routes, but I cannot put him in nobody's top 5 if he getting subbed out with the game on the line. He don't play no defense.
I hear that part, right? But then when I argue, I feel like a lot of the players, when you say top 5, I mean, greatest time, like who really was a lockdown defender where you focus on
Michael
defense?
Jordan or LeBron James is not getting subbed out.
No. You're not getting subbed out. Right. No, they're hell of athletes. But I'm talking about everybody else. Magic wasn't no damn, know what I'm saying?
Ain't nobody, but let's be real.
No. But I'm saying, what I'm saying is, even with Kobe was not a lockdown defender.
Yes, he was a great defender.
But he wasn't like, he still got buckets dropped on him. He had
that's what I'm saying. Everybody get buckets dropped on him. That's cool. That can happen to anybody. But I'm still not sitting here saying you're not about to sit here and put Steph Curry and Kobe Bryant. We talking about defense. We ain't talking about offense. Defense in the same conversation.
But be honest with you, had Steph kept his team, original team, or whatever the team when they was doing their thing, defense, or let's just say the KD team, he would be in that conversation because as a team, I still look good. Like even when Kobe had Shaq, he was all first defensive team because you had Shaq too, one of the greatest. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, when you look in those type of team, players, you do have a way to hide them or even put them in the system. Now, yes. Steph Curry is more noticeable now. He's more noticeable now. He's more noticeable now.
Noticeable now because when you watch him get subbed out the game.
Because look at them Cleveland series between LeBron and them. He wasn't getting subbed out. He was playing them.
No, he wasn't because it was easy to
hide him and put him. And even when we were sitting there, Dellavedova, he got to strap him. He got to check. Like you was putting certain people on him, but then it was like, all right, well, who is Steph checking on the opposite end? you really couldn't, like I said, you hit him more and it wasn't a liability. Now, because they don't have nobody else and they're not playing team ball, because shit, even looking at Kevin was playing his best defense in Golden State.
Sure. Of course he was. Of course. I mean, but a lot of that, dude, you're absolutely right. That does go with who's on your team and how do they help you and how do you play to your strengths where you can kind of, and let's be clear. And that's why I think sometimes with people, even for Steph Curry, where he kind of was where it was misleading for him, especially around those times when it was him and KD, because he was leading the league in steals, but it was easier for, like you said, for him to play the passing lanes because everybody else was doing the lockdown defense. And that's why I do think sometimes when people talk about like being a defensive player of the year, like even Draymond Green, like people, and the crazy thing is, I guess sometimes it's just like you got to kind of figure out people who really don't watch basketball, because even with Draymond Green, he don't lead the league in blocks or steals, but he is right now, everybody's saying he's the favorite to win defensive player of the year. But if you watch the game, even today, nigga, he strapped Kawhi Leonard ass up for the last two plays. He strapped Kawhi Leonard up where he could not do nothing. I'm like, damn, Draymond child like in his bag. The last time they played the Lakers, when they beat the Lakers, nigga, he was clamping LeBron ass. LeBron and Luka could not buy a bucket when Draymond Green was tracking him. So, but again, he wasn't blocking, he wasn't stealing, but it was how physical he played. He was making his presence felt, and he was playing physical enough where you couldn't get up a comfortable shot. So sometimes, so that's why sometimes you got to really just actually watch the game and know what you're watching for. But I do, like I said, for Steph, I can't put somebody in my top 5 or even want to argue and debate some top 5 of all times, and he can't play no D. And like niggas is subbing you out. Like, this ain't football, dog. Like, you supposed to be able to play both ends of the floor. Like, for them to literally sub him out is crazy. And you this is a joke where your playoff Joe Jonas on the line right now, and you getting subbed out is crazy to me. But like I said, shout out to Steph Curry. He was cooking shit. I'm not gonna lie to you, John Moran, if you actually want to, but go into, if you want to put yourself in that YN Hall of Fame, you beat the Warriors in this playing game, buddy. You can drop all the grenades you want. Shout outs to John Morant. Of course, I think we talked about it last week. Him getting hit with that $75,000 fine for doing the little gun joint, but he said, okay, cool, hold my B, I got a better one. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the grenade joint is 100 times harder than the gun joint.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That grenade joint is crazy, though. I'm not gonna lie to you, though. But that's sometimes where it's like, okay, cool. Sometimes you gotta get into you. If you're gonna be creative and you're gonna do the selling, be creative. And that grenade joint is OD fire, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. That grenade joint hard as hell.
And that's why I like I said, not to keep going back on the Ja situation, but let's be honest, Ja, you was mostly known for doing the gritty.
Yeah, but I told you I told you that 2 years ago or whatever year ago. I told you that gritty it's going to eventually. I mean, it's a dance, so eventually it's going to lose. But it still has its luster. People still shit. Nigga, man, think of a perfect example. Justin Jefferson played for the Minnesota Vikings. Nigga, they made their whole thing was going back and forth with coming up with creative dances. Niggas was not doing the gritty no more.
But he was still doing it.
Like once in a blue moon.
No, I don't think that shit long.
The gritty is cheeks, nigga. Nobody ain't doing the gritty.
When we talk about kids, that shit is still a popular thing.
Yeah, for kids who probably don't go outside. But nigga, you watch enough sports. When the last time you see somebody hit the gritty? At one point in time, the gritty was the number one celebration. Niggas stopped doing the gritty. That's just like we talking about songs. Like, okay, yeah, this song was hot at one point in time. It was scorching hot. Everybody and their mother was listening to this song. Like, at one point in time, the gritty was the go-to jump. The gritty ain't as hot as it is no more. Like, cool, you may see somebody like that because, of course, it was Justin Jefferson and Jamal Chase. That may be their signature jump. So they may hit it once in a blue moon, but that's not their go-to jump every night. When you go look at their highlights, you ain't seeing both of them last season hitting the gritty. And Jamal Chase got in the end zone a bunch of times, and I did not see him hit the gritty a bunch of times. Like, he made once in a blue moon. But like I said, again, shout out to John Morant. The Warriors and the Grizzlies will play each other in the play-in. I believe that comes on Thursday, and the Sacramento Kings versus the Dallas Mavericks in the play-in. Anthony Davis, I ain't gonna lie to you, this may be one of those ways you can kind of revive your.
Is he healthy?
I mean, he playing.
No, I heard he got hurt in one of those games. The last couple of games, like
shit, he played the other night, nigga. He had like 26, 12. Yeah, 26, 12, 10, and like 5. He had some his stat line was OD ridiculous.
I know it was one of them games that he came, like, I don't know if it was the first game he came back or the second game he came back, but he went out.
I think that was the joint when his eye got hit and he ended up playing with a patch on his eye.
Okay.
But like I said, I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, I think that Sacramento kind of playing good basketball. I don't know how the Sacramento Kings end up damn near fleecing the Chicago Bulls for DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine.
But that shit ain't working with them.
I mean, we're gonna see if they can make the playoffs. I mean, you can't say it ain't working.
I think it might be hard for them to make it then, especially in that 10th spot where you got to win 2 games.
Yeah, that one gonna be rough. That won't be rough. Like, but I said, I hope the Grizzlies do. I hope the Grizzlies pull it out just for the sake of just off the strength of John Morant. If they could beat the Warriors, I think that just would be a hell of a.
Who you think is more pressure on, Anthony Edwards or John Morant right now?
John Morant.
You think so? Because
John Morant. Only reason why I say it's more pressure on John Morant because you're thinking about they fired their coach, and then just with the celebration shit, like it's just kind of just like they just on his back for no reason. Like they just geeking over John Morant. Like they just geeking. Like Anthony Edwards is still kind of just like running away with like.
But when you say John Morant, is it because are you not in the play? You're in the play-in, right? But really, technically, you will be in the playoffs if
the playoffs because you was the 8.
So if let's say they lose to Golden State, then you got whoever. Mm-hmm. You looking at damn, that's a failure if you lose again, or you just like you ran into you know what I'm saying? I got outplayed. I feel like with Anthony Edwards, because you traded Cat.
And that's not his fault, though.
I'm sure you had to say so in that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure you had to say so.
I don't know.
Because some fact that you was the number 1 team last year, then now you struggling.
I mean, I'm with you, but I don't know. Like I said, to me, it would be. I think it's more job, especially if Ja could beat the Warriors. It's a bigger FU to the NBA and all the analysts. Like that, to me, he need that one like bad. Like that one, like if you really want to stick it to the man, you really want to stick it to everybody that call them games, beat the Warriors, so you move into the playoffs. And cool, if you get beat the first round by OKC, cool, they're a better team. But you gotta at least make it out of the play-in. And beating the Warriors would make it more of a stamp. Like I don't think
how petty you think Adidas will be if they beat LeBron.
It's not going to happen. Only reason why I know it's just not going to happen just because one, the Lakers kind of owned them even when they had Cat. No Cat, you ain't beating them. Ain't no way in hell. And Luka beat some niggas by himself last year.
Okay,
but why?
Would you expect some
Adidas? Of course. Why not? They didn't make Patty. That's the biggest dog in Nike. Oh yeah, real quick before we get out of there, shout out to LeBron James. LeBron James being the first male, I think. Okay. Yeah, he gotta be male because I'm sure they got women Barbie dolls already. Shout out to LeBron James for being the first male athlete to become a Ken doll. I ain't gonna lie to you. The details.
Be honest with you, he might be the first.
No, I'm sure they got women Jones. They got to. I know they got to. There's no way in hell. They gotta have probably like a Serena Williams, Jones. I'm sure.
I'll look at it.
Like if not a Serena Williams, probably like a Steffi Graf, one of them white girls that do the ice skating or something. Ain't no in hell that LeBron James the first athlete. Period. No, probably woman. I know he not because what's her name got one. Oh fucking what's her name? Sue Bird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sue Bird got one. Real quick, while we switching gears from because I said I wanted to find a way to tie it into athletes. I'm going to play this clip of Zion Williams, baby moms. Shout out to Zion.
Tonight, NBA star Zion Williamson in the middle of a love triangle that turned violent in recent days. A police source tells our New Orleans affiliate WDSU.
I don't know what the future holds, but mommy and daddy love you.
The alleged aggressor, according to a police affidavit, Akima Love, the woman seen in this celebratory gender reveal video with Williamson in June of 2023, but looking very different in this booking photo from earlier this week. Love, arrested on allegations of stalking, home invasion, and aggravated battery against another woman who has not been named. According to the police report, the suspect and the victim share a romantic partner. A police source familiar with the case telling our affiliate that shared partner is Zion Williamson. Issues between the two women ramped up in mid-March, when according to a police affidavit, Love allegedly egged the other woman's home, then messaged that woman on Instagram, stating, "Don't worry, it's going to be your head next when I drop this baby. Count your days," followed by a smiley face and laughing emoji. After the birth of that baby, things allegedly escalating further. According to the affidavit, on Sunday, Love obtained keys to the woman's residence, grabs her hair, and struck her with keys clenched in her fist, leaving the woman with lacerations above both eyes, a raised lump on the side of her head, scratches to her arms and face, and 4 fingernails torn from her hands. The police source telling our affiliate the incident happened at Williamson's multi-million-dollar home in Kenner. According to the affidavit, Love was arrested nearby at a second multi-million-dollar home inside a gated community, where Williamson is also listed as a resident in public records. Zion Williamson and Akima Love's attorney declined to comment. The Pelicans did not respond to a request for comment. It's all just the latest distraction for Williamson, the number 1 overall NBA draft pick in 2019, who's been sidelined with several injuries since. Now, Akima Love going from courtside to courtroom. At a hearing yesterday,
Oh, real quick, just because my question for y'all, because I heard it, I was like, hold on, how'd she get the keys? So my question would be is, if you was the other woman who got beat up, would you try to sue Zion too? Because I mean, you know that's where she got the keys from. For somebody to get keys to come into your house and beat you up in your joint where you were staying at, you know that he gave her the keys.
She could have took the keys without his knowledge.
I guess if that's the story you want to stick with, I ain't mad at it, but
why would he give her the keys then?
Because she probably pressed him out. You imagine you in the house.
But if you said, but you talking about if I'm pressing you out to do harm to somebody, because which one was both of them was pregnant?
No. Just he only got one baby mother.
Oh, this is the same chick from the first time.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he had. Okay.
He only got one, but the other girl was basically a side chick. No, this girl, I guess. I mean, I don't necessarily. She might have just had the baby. I don't know. I ain't really following up with Zion's love triangle, but I'm sure. Anyway, all I'm just saying is for her to be able to get the keys and for her to be able to come into somebody's house with the keys, Zion, I'm saying, like, how you know what the keys was. Like, I hear you saying, okay, but just like he got a like, just you gotta think about it. When we talk about people who got keys to a house, I'm sure most of the time you don't have just a single key. Like, hey, this is the key to this house. Like, I'm sure the keys had to be on something else. And shout out to Zion. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, he out of pocket for having two matches in the same city with two different women standing. No, he out of pocket. Like, dog, you are trying it for real. Like, driving distance too. Like, you ain't even sitting here and keep it. Like, I ain't about to be like on some real. I'm trying to be sneaky. Like, I'm gonna move her into a whole different state. Like, that to kind of make a little bit more sense. But you sitting here saying I got a whole different woman and a multi. Like, come on, dog, you asking for trouble. Like, make that make sense.
Yeah, it don't make no sense.
But shout out to the baby moms for getting violent. Real quick, and because I did forget this one, I wanted to make this a statement when we was talking about Ja Morant. This is the kind of that blow me about the NBA or just sports in general, because it's like y'all be so geeked on Ja Morant, bro, and Kevin Porter Jr. is still in the NBA.
He hooping too,
and he hooping like hell for the Bucks. But that's my point of like. And of course, because I mean, Shorty, she basically took her statement back or whatever. But we seen the pictures. Everybody know what he was originally charged for, and that's my point. Of just like. And the reason we'll keep that in my brain, because I see a lot of women bring that back up all the time. It's like, why y'all so pressed about Ja and a gun in America where everybody be super two-way law, whatever the case may be, your Second Amendment or all this case may be. But like you said, Kevin Porter Jr., nobody don't bring nothing up. He kind of get to move up under his own radar and nobody really ain't paying. And he hooping. I ain't paying, but every time I see his face, I'm like, damn, Slim kind of got away with murder almost.
I think it's more so on what we turn a cheek to, and I feel like a lot of people turn their cheeks to that because, like, how many athletes are?
But that's
how many football, like even with the football players, like, well, I forgot the linebacker, or whatever for Dallas that got in court and some stuff, and he got to stay with job.
But that's people's point though. Like, how do you sit here? So basically, you sit here saying that it don't matter if you beat your girl, but if you out here flashing guns on social media, that's worse.
Hey, listen. When we was on our way here, I seen a post. They were saying, "Oh boy, about to get out of jail," and they were saying, "Well, he should get another shot in the NFL."
Ooh.
Ruggs, the one that killed the girl in the.
He about to get. He only get a year.
And somebody was sitting here saying, was like, "Well, he should get a second chance, and I hope he get another job." And it was like, of course, in the comments, people was like, "Well, what's the difference?" Somebody said, "Well, what's the difference between him and Vic? Vic got a second chance. Why can't he?" And then, of course, people, but that's what I'm saying. But people's argument was like, this man killed somebody. He killed somebody, and somebody said the dogs, but it was like, well, what's the difference? It's still a, what I'm saying? You still committed.
Man, get the fuck out.
That's what I'm saying. I was looking at, but they both are the same, right?
It's not the same.
No. What I'm saying is they both how you look at how everybody else view it as. Vic went to jail, right? And he got punished or whatever. But how you look at what his crime that he's doing and the crime that somebody else doing, they probably gave that Vic more pushback than they will give him if he comes to the league and play.
Of course.
Which is great. That's why I say I feel like that's how society is. Like you said, why are we not sitting here getting on Kevin Porter? I feel like you ain't gonna pay no mind. But for Ja, you gonna pay that a mind.
But again, that is crazy. And that is sometimes where it's like, I hate how like sometimes just even as fans, like we just as wrong as the sports analysts because nobody don't say that. Like people just be cool, like, oh yeah, we just let's all just dog pile on Ja Morant, and we all know for a fact that we know other athletes who have done 100 times worse, and nobody don't say nothing about it. Like me, literally the other night seeing that Milwaukee game, and I'm like, bro, literally almost damn near beat that girl to death, and he literally on the court a year later. He got suspended for a year. So basically what y'all telling me is y'all never gonna let Ja Morant get past him posting a gun on social media. And a dude literally, if I beat my girl, almost to put her in the hospital, I just gotta sit out for a year. And because I ain't popular, I can get back into the NBA. Because guys, it's 2 niggas who done it so far. And they literally only had to sit out a year. It's him in Milwaukee and Slim and Bridges in Charlotte. And
just let's just stay right there. The video that's surfacing right now on the internet of the Florida player, the Miami Dolphins player, choking that girl out.
Yeah, these niggas is crazy though. And y'all
on a ring camera. On a ring camera. I'm talking about choking her out.
I seen it. She even tweeted and was like, I'm not going back. Y'all don't gotta worry about that. You ain't even gotta ask me. You don't have to say nothing. I'm not going back. I'm cool. My neighbors got the camera. Both of my neighbors got 2 different camera angles. One got one from the lower angle and one got one from the higher angle. But that's just my point. And niggas is sitting here worrying about what celebration Ja Morant doing.
Yeah.
Like there is a picture. You Google Kevin Porter Jr. He was in New York City coming out of a hotel with his hands behind his back getting arrested, dog. And he is literally playing for the Milwaukee Bucks, about to be in the playoffs. Like, man, shout out to Ja Morant, dog. Well, y'all niggas is crazy. And like nobody don't be saying nothing. Like everybody just, hey, man, stop, dog. And again, yeah, shout outs to that young lady. Yeah, that video was crazy. Like that'd be, man. And it's the sad thing is to the point where it's like, I guess like if I had a daughter, I almost would like. I understand the payday and the lure, like it's a come up, but bro, at what cost? Because especially with football players, it's a lot. Not saying that basketball players don't do it because we just gave 2 examples of 2 different basketball players, but that level of aggressiveness when it comes to football players and women, like it's one of them jokes every day. It just depends on how popular, the more popular the athlete is, the more the story gonna make some noise, or if it's actual video footage. But if it's not, like, bro, that is all. I feel like damn near you probably can go down every NFL roster and there's one dude on there who got a domestic violence joint on his jacket. And 9 times out of 10, most of the time, it'd be some of the biggest dudes on the team. It'd be a linebacker. It'd be like, bro, it's so crazy how those things just kind of just go up under the radar and it just be like, all right, cool, nobody don't even care. Think about the stuff that they care about.
And let's just stay on Miami. With whole Tyreek Hill and his shorty.
Yeah, shout out to Tyreek Hill. We're about to be soon to be ex-wife. I do respect her gangster because she kind of like she ain't waited out no time. Like she has not been married to him long enough to even really get some real crazy money in the courts for their divorce. Because I think I've seen some girl write me on TikTok and was like, most of the time in most states you gotta be married for at least like close to like 5 or 7 years. They only been married for like almost 2 years. It ain't even been a whole 2 years.
She got 2 kids with him, right?
Yeah, so you'll probably get paid for the kids, but you got to think about it. Sometimes you can get paid for the kid and
alimony.
Yeah, and alimony. So it ain't gonna be no alimony because they ain't been married long enough. Like, and I don't know. In Florida, it may be different. I think, of course, every state, the marriage stuff is a little bit different. But somebody did write that to me, and I was like, oh damn, that's kind of because the reason why I think somebody wrote it because I was like, I do kind of want to give her some credit because you can't really hit her with the gold digger thing because if she was a real gold digger, she just would have put up with it. Because he didn't put his hands on her. He just
I think he did they say
no. So if the mother called. So for people who don't know, just to give a little bit of backstory. So Tyreek Hill basically got in a heated argument with his child's mother and his wife and her mother was there, and I guess they got into an argument and he took the baby. Like he slammed something on the ground and she called 911 and he took the baby out onto the balcony. So, but whatever the case may be, so the mother called the police or whatever case may be, and let's be clear, and the girl, she even agreed. She said, "I'm not about to sit here and put all of it on him." That we got into an argument and it got aggressive on both our parts. He didn't put his hands on me, but he still took. I think he broke like a laptop, like smashed the laptop on the ground. And I guess the thing that really raised the flag, one, of course, he's 100 times bigger than this girl, and then him storming out and taking the baby on the balcony. And somebody got a picture of him being on the balcony with the baby and like close to the edge of the jump. So that was kind of alarming for the mom to even want to sit here and call. But like I said, shout outs to his soon-to-be ex-wife for even just sitting here saying, calling the quits, like, bro, I can't just keep putting up with it. And you got to think about it. She put up with a lot because since they've been married, the nigga that went and had like 4 different kids on her since they've been married, and they only been married for like a year and some change. So literally, right after they got married, she was having her youngest kid, and he ended up popping out with 4 other women pregnant. So it's kind of like, I mean, some things some people can put up with, some things they can't. So I'm not mad at her for kind of like calling it quits now. And the smart thing, to be honest, is like, yeah, let me call it quits now, because you kind of like, if we being honest, Tyreek Hill career is on the down there. I don't know if Tyreek Hill gonna get another bag from nobody. Like, he might not, like, he may, because he want to out Miami, but I'm sure even if he get out Miami, he's not going to get wherever he go. Nobody signing Tyreek Hill to no more crazy paychecks. So realistically, if we being honest, she kind of getting out why she can get ahead real quick. Like, I can hit him right now over whatever I can get it now while he still got some bread, because if you wait too long, you try to stay out there and then he end up retiring or he end up signing for the veterans minimum or whatever the case may be, that child support ain't going to hit the same because his pay going to be lower now. I can't play this clip of Tiana Taylor, Amar Shepard talking about his separation from Tiana Taylor.
Not something negative. Like, we had great years, you know what I'm saying? Like, great years together. So it's like, I can't let this now cause it to be like, now I'm throwing just negative stuff in my mind. It's like, no, something happened. They discussing it, but that happened a year ago. If y'all still discussing it, discuss it, but you know what I mean?
I think the reason why people are
that.
so invested in your relationship or your past relationship is because, like, it was so public and it was very beautiful. And we got to see it with the reality show and the different things that you guys put out there. So it's like people have become so invested in the aftermath of, like, who's, what's, wins, and whys. And does that ever, like, trigger you? And
not really. I mean, some of the filings after, like, it's hurtful to see, because it's just like, like, but other than that, it's like people discussing it. It's like people was discussing the good stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what we put it out there. So it's like they got to discuss the good stuff. So I can't really tell them, don't discuss the bad. Like, I got to let it go. You know what I mean? Like, I got to let that rock. But it don't really alter my day or nothing. I don't think I got mad not once until somebody from Chicago did it. Like, I think that's where I'm biased. Like, Chicago ain't allowed to do that. Like, y'all just be cool. Like, shut y'all ass up.
because that's your hometown, right?
Yeah, we don't do that. Like, I wasn't raised like that. I don't know, none of y'all was raised like that. Like, we not doing that. But everybody else, like, they media outlets and everything, like, this is their livelihood. They post about what's going on in the world. They was posting us when it was good. Now they posting this, whatever. Some stuff is just whatever information, but it's like, I can't go out here and explain it to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I can go out here on this media run. If people ask and touch on it, cool, but
that must be exhausting for you, right? Like,
no, it's
not.
not.
It's not? Oh.
Look, this is the thing, right? We talking, right? This the phone. Like, I gotta go on here, open it, go to the app, find some. Like, I have to do that in order to feel it.
Yeah.
I be doing stuff. Like, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, I don't feel it like people feel it. And it could be from basketball, because it's like, we'll have a game and Stephen A. Smith could have said something. They talking about it all day. But it's like, bro, I still got to eat. I got to film. I got to take a nap. I got to go to the training room. I got to do a lot of stuff. It's not that hard to take my phone, put it up for 2-3 hours.
And just detach yourself from it.
Yeah. But I mean, after a while, you're not even detaching yourself. You just don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't be controlled by that. Like, I get on, I post my stuff, I get off. People like it, cool. If they don't like it, cool. It's a billboard.
Yeah.
You driving past my billboard right quick. You liked it? Oh.
Would you want to get married again?
That one's tough. I don't know about that. Right now, I'm just, you feel me? Like, I think
would you want to fall in love again?
I think I didn't realize how young I fell in love. And now I need to just, like, I need to chill with me for a little bit. Like, I need to get me right. I got 2 kids now. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just need to, let me do some push-ups, sit-ups.
Get back in the gym.
Let me get back in the gym again, you know what I mean? Fix my jumper, you know what I'm saying? Make sure I could dunk still. Like, but I seriously think it's just not something that I'm like searching for anymore. I think a part of me wanted to be my dad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it made everything the mirror.
Do you believe what he's saying?
About like
not wanting to give himself some time before even thinking about wanting to be in love again.
It sound good. I don't necessarily know.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I wonder because I mean, when you in a relationship for that long, I wonder, do you know how to date without even trying to date to be in love? Like if you talking about, I don't want to say their relationship. Let's just say he say 7 years, 7 to 8 years. After you've been in a 8-year relationship, do you know how to date any other way?
No, I mean it's
because you're so used to being with somebody
yeah.
consistently. Like I'm sure, like you almost would probably trick yourself the first couple of times to be like, "Oh, I really like this next person." Not really, and you may not really like them, but because you're so used to having a person like you, I'm not sitting here saying your intentions is to like I'm trying to get married to this next person, but I'm sure you'll kind of move a lot faster if you was just a regular person who been single for the last 7 years instead of being married for the last 7.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense.
Because it just seemed like I feel like that one is just a little bit harder to sit here and say, oh, it's just easy for me to sit here and just let me kind of like move around and not and be intentional with it.
Mothers with teenage daughters that are still in high school, stop brainwashing your daughter to believe that these young boys they're dating who are also still in high school and also still being taken care of by their parents are responsible to make sure that your daughter experiences things that you've never exposed her to as her parent. Yeah, you've never paid $400 and $500 for her play. You've never taken her shopping at any luxury department stores. So how is this a requirement for anybody? That's your duty as a parent to expose your child to what you want them to be exposed to. Are we using our brains anymore? In high school, the only requirement you should have as a young woman in dating should be if that young man respects himself and respects you, fill him out and see what his goals and visions are for his life. See if he comes from a good family, and most definitely see if he got a good mother. Do you know how golden it is as a young woman to date a man that has a good mother? That's golden. So mothers, there's a lot of things we can tell our daughters to have in place as a requirement when dating in high school, but food and materials shouldn't be it. That's your job.
So I got a question for you because you are a mom and you have daughters. I guess what is the balance on that when you're trying to teach your kid how to date? Because I get what she was saying is like you shouldn't teach your kid to have like I guess that type of gold digger mentality where it's like you shouldn't be in high school looking for your little high school boyfriend to take you to a 5-star restaurant. That dude seemed kind of crazy. Or for him, for Valentine's Day, for him to be spending hundreds of dollars. But how do you teach them the good balance of like, do you just leave that at high school? Like when do you change it to be like, all right, what you liked in high school or even maybe your first 2 years in college, it should be different moving? Like how do you change the age group or that, or how do you even I guess have that conversation so they will be able to understand where it's like if you allow them to date in high school, I guess what should you look or how you even judge what you supposed to like?
I mean, I agree with her, like the whole because like my daughter would say like stuff like that, but I'm like, I take care of you. So you can't expect for this person, you know what I'm saying? You can't expect for him to come in because he's still a child just like you. So you like she said, you just want them to treat you well, be a decent person. Like she said, a good family, see how he treats his family, see how he treats his mother. And then as you get older, you can look for certain things. But I always tell mine, like, don't look for something that you can't provide for yourself. So if you can't,
but is that something that I guess you had to tell them? But I guess because I mean, I'm sure they be on social media or they see whatever. So because I guess you almost have to parent against what the world is trying to teach them.
I mean, you parent against it, but then I live it. Like if I can't get it for myself, I shouldn't be expecting a man to get it for me. I can't have higher expectations for a man than I do for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can't get this bracelet or this bag or whatever, then I can't expect him to come into my life and expect him to be able to do it. You should be able to take care of yourself just as well as you would like your man to take care of you.
Yeah, even hearing that, it was kind of like, damn, that is kind of tough. Like even still, I'm sure. Well, I mean, I guess you gotta get ready, prepare for that now, because I guess what prom you got prom this year?
No, next year.
Oh, all right. So how do you? I mean, again, I guess how do you wrap your mind around your kid prom experience? Probably got to be 100 times better than yours now, because that's kind of like, I guess that's almost like what the bar is right now for kids when they go to prom. Or do you not can be like, whatever your experience was, that's what it is?
I'm not going based off the expectations of the internet and what everybody else is doing. I want it to be an experience for her.
Mm-hmm.
So if she's satisfied with it, I'm gonna go above and beyond and make sure but it's just certain things she knows I'm not doing. The TikTok and all that, like I'm not doing all that. But it's going to be an experience for her.
Okay.
So I'm not gauging it on how everybody's doing it on the internet. It's what she wants. And she don't even want everything that everybody has on the internet. So I don't try to live up to that, because that's not what she wants.
I guess I guess my last question on that one is, how do you kind of balance that one? Do you sit here and try to, I guess, keep your kid off the internet a little bit more so they won't get brainwashed by the internet?
I mean, the internet is like wherever they look, internet, TV shows, like it's everywhere. But I teach them reality, and this is not reality for me. This is not reality for you. So like, don't have your expectations that high, because it's an experience, but it's one day. It's one day out of the year. I'm not going to go broke for that one day.
Yeah, it's just, man, times have just changed. So like, when I see just the cars that they gotta rent, and I'm just be like, bro, you know how crazy that is? Like, I don't care, because I can't imagine, like, I mean, I get it, and I'm sure most people want to give their kid a better experience from what they had, but I can't imagine if I went to prom and which I did, went into like a cheap $150 an hour $150 an hour jump, and it only went one way. Like, you had to, like, whatever you was gonna finesse for the night after, it was just like, so now you sitting here saying they renting Lambos and Rolls trucks and just all crazy stuff like that.
Like they're your teenagers. You're not even paying for this. I'm paying for this. So I'm gonna go based off what my budget is, not what you're expecting. I'm not doing that. You setting them up for failure, because unless you can afford and provide yourself that type of life as you get older, what are we doing it for? We're not doing it for looks and to get all the likes and all that shit. Like, who cares about that? I mean, granted, they do, but at the end of the day, that's not real life. And I'm not gonna go broke for one night.
But okay, now on that part, but if this was her wedding, you would go broke for that, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, when you say, like, I mean, because some people don't get other moments. This might be one of her big. You know what I'm saying?
Like, it is a big moment.
Like I said, I agree with you. What you saying is, but I'm just asking, like, well, what if this the only, like, all right, everybody don't get a wedding, everybody don't get, you know.
What's your fucking fault?
No, you're right. You're right. That, but I'm just saying, but you don't want to sit here and be like, well, damn, what if you don't get another, you know what I'm saying? You don't get another chance.
But you make it as special as,
and that's what I'm saying. You want to make it. I'm not gonna just be like, all right, he go dress from, you know, blah blah, like, you know, I'm gonna try to make it.
Yeah, but
memorable.
but again,
but you don't have to do everything else.
Again, that goes into, that's why I'm sitting here saying, like, how early do you start parenting differently? Because I think sometimes if you can kind of dictate what your kid mind state is going to be when they're younger, I don't think you have to even worry about trying to live up to those expectations when they get older, when they get to graduation. And that's why even you kind of even tying it into the parents, where it's like, man, I was watching the Joan, what's shorty name? Courtney Williams for the Minnesota Lynx, and like her dad, like, I mean, of course, during the the WNBA finals, he got super popular. Like, ESPN was picking him up all the time because he was going back and forth with, like, Spike Lee during the finals game. But he was even talking about how, like, hands-on he was with his daughter when it was just like raising your kid. I feel like the more impactful you are and the more hands-on you are when they're younger, you kind of like you kind of help get to dictate what they're going to like and how they're going to come off when they get older. But if you kind of just allowing too much internet time, where again, that's when they start to think the norm is what they see on the internet, and that's not realistically, that's not the normal.
But that's where the hands-on comes in.
But it's not the normal. But then even if you put it in our days and when we went to prom and all that stuff, you go off of the image you see, what you like, and you try to do it by your way. Like I said, nigga, we couldn't afford no damn Gucci fucking what's name, but that's what you wanted to wait because you saw the big time video. You didn't sit here and pay for, you know what I'm saying, the crazy price for some Gucci outfit, but you paid whatever you had to do. Like I said, we can go with the idea, but we don't have to copy it everything. That's how I feel like it is. Like I'm gonna try to make it the best experience of your life, but under my budget.
Yeah, but I think that goes into again when you talking about parenting. I don't even think I even knew what that was. Like I think I just seen something. I don't even think I understood what Gucci was at the time. You just seen like, okay, Birdman and them got these pants on with all these G's on it. Oh, I want these pants to go to prom. At that time, I didn't if I understood at that time how much that stuff really cost, it was no way in the world I would have even said I wanted that. Like, because if you saw again, like, because you see something in a music video, but if your parent, like, y'all not having that comment, because I wouldn't even set myself up, because now you're older, it's like, I wouldn't even repost that picture because this shit was fake. But you didn't know that because you didn't, at that time, you didn't know what the price was. So if I knew that, oh, realistically, in real life, these pants would cost you $10,000, I wish no way in the world I even would have worn them, because then I would have known, like, nigga, this is fake as hell. But in my mind, because I'm so young and don't know nothing, I thought it was real. So at that time, yeah, you cool. I got the show on blasted all of my MySpace. But guess what? At that age, for that group of people, guess what? Nobody on MySpace was writing on your junk like, oh, that picture, that whole little fake. No, because nobody knew better. Nobody knew what that stuff cost. Because at that time, that stuff was not, nobody was even thinking about it. I didn't even know where a Gucci store was. I don't even think I seen my first Gucci store maybe until like, shit, probably like in my mid-20s, maybe even late 20s.
But that's why I say I feel like even to now in society, you got to make it to the best of what you can do. I don't think, like I said, we can look at everybody and be like, damn, I want something like that, but I ain't going all the way out. Cause shit, well, like with the baby shower shit, like how they go all out and all the balloons and all, like how much you really spending and how much of that stuff you really can't get back. You know what I'm saying? Like you spent, damn, look how much we spent. We don't get that money back. I bet you rather have that money in your account.
But I think, that goes back into having those conversations before you even have kids. Like I agree with what you're saying, but I think sometimes people don't even have those conversations with who you having a kid with. So imagine if you don't never, like, before you even have a kid, if y'all don't have those conversations, like, oh, what kind of baby shower would you want to have, and y'all can't even come up with an agreement before having a kid. 9 times out of 10, you shouldn't have a kid. But what most people would do is sit here and saying, y'all are just okay, y'all get pregnant, and then you having a baby shower conversation. Now you come to find out that y'all two live in two total different tax brackets on what you think or what's worth on spending money. But imagine how you can eliminate an argument before the kid even got here. Because if you'd have had that conversation off the rip, like, oh, you want a big baby shower or a small joint? Like, what's your thought process of a good baby shower? And if they tell you, oh, I'm cool, we could just do something in the backyard, I wouldn't care. But if this person be like, oh man, we got to rent out a banquet hall, I need this, that, and the third, that could easily maybe a turnoff to you. And in your mind, you can kind of know, like, I know I can't afford that, and my family ain't even gonna sit here and put up on that type of shit. So I can nip it in the bud immediately. But most people, guess what you do? You never had that conversation, then you end up having a baby shower. Now y'all having a big, huge argument about something because you didn't plan it beforehand. So, I mean, that's what happened. And just while we talking about baby showers, it was a story that was going viral, and it was a dude posting, and basically he was mad at his family and mad at the family of his baby moms because nobody came to their baby shower. I think he said literally only 3 people came.
Be like that.
Nah, that's crazy. Especially if that's your first kid, it's crazy.
I'm telling you, you'd be surprised how that should be like that. The people you expect to be there or you want to be there don't be there. It'd be like that. That's when you really learn who's really with you.
But I think, again, that goes back to, like, I think you should already kind of know that. Like, me personally, I know that I don't talk to nobody on a regular, everyday basis. Like, the longest conversations I have every week is right here and right now. After this, that's it. I ain't not talking to nobody else for this long. So me planning to do anything as an adult, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm about to sit here and have a crazy birthday party. I'm going to have a crazy baby. No, where the crazy going to come from?
But you feel like you can always depend on your family.
No, for sure. But I still think but some people, I think you have to be honest with how locked in you and your family is beforehand. Like, some people just be lying and just living in, like, you know that you and your family ain't super tight off the rip, or y'all don't even come together for holidays, or don't come together for cookouts. Why do you think they're gonna come together for a baby shower? Because now the baby shower, because guess what, we'll say if you got a bunch of family members like me, and they just on the cheap side where I really ain't, if I ain't got to buy nothing, I ain't trying to buy nothing. So if you sit here and say we normally don't get together for the free cookout, you think I'm coming for the baby shower? I got to come with a gift? If I barely want to chip in on a cookout, you think I want to come to a baby shower with a gift?
But that's what I'm saying. I feel like even when people look at, like, everybody could have been on board with it, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be there. I can't wait for this nephew. I'm, and then they don't show up.
Nah, that's crazy.
It's got to be a backstory.
Yeah,
They don't show up.
No, that would
that's
be
just
crazy.
like that. That's just like and you can't put it the same as for a wedding. Like when you got an RSVP and then you don't show up, and I got to pay for that plate. But that's just a man. Like I said, I get it. Some people just like
Nah, though. If you're one of those people who show up for everybody and everything else, you know for a fact you kind of know. Like even when we talk about it when it comes to just like back in the day when I used to throw parties. And I used to do parties with McLovin. He was a person who always showed up at everybody's stuff. So if he had a birthday party or it was a big holiday and he invited people to come out, he almost could damn near know for a fact I'm at least had 30 to 50 people come out because I done showed up for these 30 or 50 people all year long. Their birthdays, their cookouts, their baby showers. I'm not one of them people. So I knew for a fact if I'm gonna throw a party, I gotta make sure the theme of the party, whatever artist or whatever thing got to bring the people. My promotional skills gonna have to bring out these people because I know for a fact I ain't going to nobody else's stuff, so people ain't coming off the strength of just because it's me. No, the party gonna have to have some motion and have some real conversation piece behind it to make people want to come out. So it's a difference. I think you know how you show up for people and you know your relationship with people. I don't think nobody's saying you talking about just 3 people showed up to your baby shower. There's no way on God's green earth you telling me that you have real interactions with people on a day-to-day basis and everybody goes you.
So, yeah, I mean something had to happen.
Yeah, it's a backstory to that one.
Nasty and needy. You don't get to mistreat people and then expect there to be no consequences. It's natural for people to protect themselves from people who try to hurt them. See, decency is the price you pay for access. Access to help, access to support, access to consideration. If you're going to have a bad attitude or mishandle your words and mistreat people, then you better be ready to handle life on your own. Most folks aren't signing up to help somebody who hurts them. Like, how are you bold enough to be reckless with your conduct, but then soft enough to expect support? Make that make sense. You can't bruise your fist on my chin and then ask me for the Band-Aid. That's not how this works. That's not how life works. So you got to choose. Either be measured with your mouth, careful with your character, and considerate with your actions, or be ornery and walk alone. Like, if you're out here burning bridges, don't act surprised when nobody shows up with a boat. Favor flows where honor goes. So treat people with consideration, or they might treat you the way you treat them.
I feel like that clip just went perfectly after what we were just talking about, just with nobody showing up for the baby shower. I feel like that one kind of go hand in hand. I do feel like it was a huge story that was going on the internet. Real quick, first off, I guess I'm trying to figure out, because both of these stories will kind of get dark, so I'm trying to figure out which one I want to go with first. Is it a clip of Slim that I'm trying to see if it was one real quick. Rest in peace to the young man that played for LSU. And the crazy thing is, I don't even know how to pronounce his name because he got one of them tricky first names. What is his name? Is it Kyren? Is it Kyren Lacy? I believe it. I apologize if I'm screwing up his name. But he went to LSU, and realistically, he was looking like he would have been a top draft pick in this year's NFL draft. But unfortunately, he passed away yesterday, or was it? Well, not yesterday, this morning, Sunday morning. So and the crazy thing is, I guess when we see him saying, and his dad came out and they made a post on Facebook, and he was basically like, you have to constantly check in on your kids. And I guess this is kind of a good transition because we were just talking about raising kids. And he was basically, because his son was going to be on trial come Monday. So by the time y'all hear this, his trial was supposed to start on Monday.
Shit.
Yeah, he was supposed to be on trial for murder, for a hit and run.
Holy shit. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's the same dude.
Damn.
So his trial was supposed to start on Monday. So, and I just seen before. So I mean, yeah, of course that explains why. But again, that goes back into just that when we talk about parenting and kind of like helicopter parenting a little bit, kind of really aggressively being in your kid's life sometimes, where it's like, and his dad posted that on Facebook. He was like, don't just keep, as parents, y'all can't just keep settling for I'm okay. Like, you kind of got to dig a little bit deeper, and especially if you know your kid is going through something. Like, that was but this is so messed up because you sit here saying, even when we tied it into Slim, and I kind of wanted to tie it in when you was to mention the dude that played for the Raiders, who literally just, when he in a car accident, speeding, whatever case may be, and he took that lady life and her dog, and he literally only did a year. So that's my thing. Of sometimes where it's like, and I get it, but I'm not gonna say I get it where it's like everybody's situation not gonna play out. It may not play out the same, but realistically, even for Slim with the Raiders, it's not like he's some big name household wide receiver and like everybody and their mother know him. I think realistically, more people
on to come up, but
I'm sure, but realistically, we probably would have never brought his name up talking just like how we just miscellaneous talking about Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. His name wasn't miscellaneous, just gonna come up in no conversation. Us talking about him was because of what he did in that car accident. So just even for Shorty with the LSU John, I think even for his parents, where it's like you may just needed to make that a little bit more comfortable and kind of bring that to his like show him like this is not the end of your world. And I'm sure it is easier to say that, but because I'm sure everybody may look at going to jail completely different from the way other people. Some people can't do jail time. And it was so crazy because Boosie was supposed to be doing a concert at there, John. He was like, damn, I was trying to go pull up on him and even talk because Boosie done jail time before. Like, it is some people who can kind of like try to talk to you and try to make you have a different outlook on him. I'm sure his mind going so many different. So, but like I said, before we started to record, it was I seen Say Cheese posted a story, and it was saying that the young man was in a car chase with the police. So I don't, like I said, I don't.
But that's why
I kind of want to look at somewhere else and see if it's anywhere else picked it up before.
But
I even say it like that because it was go ahead.
But that's why I feel like it's. I guess everybody needs a punishment, but then certain things should be held higher than others. Because even what's my man that I think he played for Baltimore. What was the wide receiver? I think he used to play with Detroit. Starworth, the one who hit the guy. It was a drunk guy. I think he fell out in the street and he ran him over. And they try to charge, you know what I'm saying? Like they try to, I think he didn't get charged or something. Dante Starworth? I think
you might be wrong.
I can't remember, but I think that if I'm quoting wrong, I think that might be his name. But he had an incident where he hit somebody. And of course they were trying to like, oh no, you was wrong for, whatever the case may be. But like even with that situation, that was just, but like I feel like even with like the rug situation, you was being reckless and you took somebody's life. And like I said, we don't know the story for this LSU boy, but if you saying that you was in a police chase and you ended up taking somebody's life, I can see what it told. I can see what that will you know what I'm saying, put you on that edge. And it's kind of crazy.
So you I just wanted to double check on the story and make sure it was up. And I'm just looking at it before I report on the story like they got it. So yeah, so basically, hold on.
It's sad though. But can I ask you, what would you think your conversation would be with your son? If you were the father, what
if I was the father, I get think trying to just reassure him that his career and his life wasn't over. And I think I'm sure in his mind that's probably because I mean, let's be clear, the NFL, it get tricky with that. And that's why my point is like I hate that how I mean, and it's their business. You can they pick and choose what they do. Because think about it. But what I'm saying is because you got to think about it. Because the NFL, even when it comes to the draft, they get tricky with that drinking and driving stuff. Because that's how the Eagles end up lucking up and getting Carter.
But that's why I'm asking you. I'm just saying, well, how would you have a conversation with your if that was your son? How would you have that conversation? Yes, how we might turn the other cheek, whatever the case may be. But let's just say you've been a star athlete. You've been that person. You never got really into stuff, but this one moment, it turned into a life changing. You've been on the up and up. You've been a perfect, of course, as I've been. You know what I'm saying? But how do I even come to you with this, like, damn? Because you've been so perfect, and now you feel like you ruined
you didn't ruin you didn't ruin your career because you still got to finish off the college season last year with this hanging over your head. I think just realistically, I would still just kind of just be like, bro, we're gonna do the time with you, and your career ain't over. You still, because realistically, I'm sure he had they won up the NIL money at LSU is crazy. And while we talking about that real quick, this is a crazy segue, but and I will get right back to the story. Shout outs to LSU for the money game, John, on primetime. It is up and nominated for an Emmy. So that's just, I mean, like, that's because that LSU money, I'm sure he got some bread. I'm sure he can afford a decent lawyer even to the point where he could have stretched that time out. Because I mean, I don't want to sit here because somebody did lose their life in that car accident that he was in. But I mean, that vehicle manslaughter or however they whatever they're gonna try to charge you with. I mean, let's be clear. I mean, it come with time, but that time isn't as aggressive as if you take somebody's life somewhere on another way. Like if you shoot somebody or you stab somebody or choke somebody, like that is a little bit more loose. So I'm sure, like I said, you can afford good enough lawyers. I mean, look at Slim. For the Raiders, he ain't do nothing but like a year. So that's I like, and I don't like, again, I don't want to make it seem like that person's life that he took is like non-avoid, but I'm still, if you sitting here asking me as a parent, the conversation that I would want to try to reassure my kid to let him know, like, you made a huge mistake. You're going to have to pay for that mistake, but that mistake does not mean that you're so young. That don't mean your career and your life is completely over.
He may been battling with the fact that he took somebody's life.
I mean, that too though. And that you can even kind of go back to power. That's why I swear to God, that's literally exactly what I was about to say. You can take that right back to Raising Kanan, and that was what Melvin said to when he said the jukebox. And then she was kind of like, he was trying to blame like after your first body. She was like, well, what if I was already mentally somewhere else before this body?
But that's why even when I'm asking you, how would you even think that conversation could be? Or even because like even if you take yourself into that Marvin situation, you didn't think Jukebox killed somebody or even was built like that. And then she answered you like, nigga, I'm just never you. Like, how do you, like I said, I can tell you something, but then it's just like, I don't know how you're feeling. Yes, we can be open to each other and we can always communicate, but I don't know how you feel right then.
But it's different. Even if you go into parents and you kind of tie back into, we just keeping it right there on Raising Kanan. Look at the difference between Marvin and Rock. She like both of their kids, her kid is already completely gone, but she's still OD hands on. She like, yeah, of course you could sit here and say she shouldn't be supporting how gone Kanan is, but she's still hands on at every part, even from the part where she know that he willing to crash out behind Famous. Guess what she did? She did a pop-up, knocked on the door, talked to the girlfriend, and sit here leaning on the girlfriend like, hey, whatever the case may be, can you make sure you keep an eye on him as well? So she's still extremely hands on, even though that Kanan is completely already gone left. But she's still hands-on and still sitting here saying, like, I'm making my parenting presence felt and I'm letting it be known, like I'm still a hands-on parent. So I think still, even with that situation where it's like, yeah, cool, you may have, your kid may have made a mistake, but I think that even sometimes, even if you weren't hands-on beforehand, that's when you kind of got to be even more hands-on. So like I said, I don't necessarily, and that's why I just want to say allegedly, because this story is kind of like, it's only, I don't know how true it is, but on Say Cheese, they basically sitting here saying is, he got in an argument with a family member, and I think somebody shot a shot was off in a family member, and the police was called, and it ended up him getting into a police chase, and he ended up crashing his car. And then when the police, I guess, was trying to pull him out of the car, that's when they seen that he was already in the car, passed away. So they saying I don't know if he shot himself in the car or he shot himself, but I don't necessarily know. It just seemed like it's kind of all over the place. That's why I said I want to just say alleged with this part of the information, because again, when the story was originally told, it was making it seem like it was he took his own life. But now it's making it seem like I don't necessarily know, like it was basically saying he was in a car accident from fleeing the police or whatever case may be, and then when the police was kind of get him out the car after the car crashed, they seen that he was shot already.
Oh, I thought it already took place. I thought the accident already took place, and now you was about to face trial.
No. It's two different car. We're talking about two different car accidents now. Yes, when he was about to go to court, when he was about to go to trial for on Monday was a car accident. He took somebody's life in a car accident. I guess maybe some drinking and driving or whatever case may be while he was in college. Yes, but I'm talking about when he passed away was Saturday night going into Sunday morning was something completely different.
Oh shit! I thought he just, like I said, I thought he unalived this up, like, you know what I'm saying, in his home or something like that.
No. That's why, but that's when when the story originally broke, that's how it came out. But now I'm saying, like I said, that's why I said I want to say alleged with this part, because the only person I've seen pick this up is Say Cheese. But I mean, it's a lot of people. There's like thousands of people in the comments. So people sitting here saying, like, I even seen a lady where this John, I think they even penned this one where they were sitting here saying she was she said she was working on the dispatcher. Yeah, she said, working on the dispatch and the disputed distractions. An apartment 1916 Towson reference in the male having a mental crisis, and his sister was arguing with him in the parking lot. A gunshot was heard from the brother, and he stole her Dodge Charger. Disputes and found the vehicle traveling in the elephants and driving in the field, and he crashed into a building near Lexington Wood after he shooting himself. And the aunties in the fire department were dispatching the location, and the mail did not make it. Yeah, so this lady said she worked the dispatcher joint. This happened at 11:30 p.m. Damn. So it seemed like I guess he was mentally kind of.
See, I could have had a conversation with you already about it.
I mean, it sounded like his sister and his brother was there. So he was arguing. They said he was arguing with his sister. He took her car. Man,
I tell everybody, it's no blueprint to this being a parent.
No, for sure.
And
it's not.
You get those curveballs all the time. I just wish and pray that,
Yeah, that's a tough one though. Like that's just so crazy because it's just like, and that is kind of almost like life in a nutshell because it was like
you made a mistake.
You made a mistake, then
you made a bigger mistake.
You made a bigger mistake, but then it was kind of like, damn, like all of this was going to happen in April because the draft's still a couple of weeks away. You was going to get drafted.
But that's why I say some people make bad decisions that fast.
And then just
you think about it, like I said, not to keep going back, but if you just had like decision that you make or whatever you do, like nobody really never saw Lynn Bias or whatever the case may be. He could have been one of the greatest players, but he made that decision, what he did on draft night. And that's why I say, I can tell you, hey, this is, your life changing, this decision you're about to make, boom, boom, boom. But everybody else might be just still stuck in their ways and going about, like I said, you knew he was about to be a top pick, but you still went out and celebrating.
Yeah, I do think that is to me even because I mean that's something that people kind of bring up with Georgia athletes a lot, especially for that Georgia football team.
Because I think they all
a lot of them was getting hit with them DUIs, and I mean, and they're drinking and driving, and a lot of them was in bad car accidents. So I think a lot of times where I think that's even for parents and like. If you know that you coach, I mean, if your kid is the prospect of getting ready to go to college, especially if they're an athlete, you kind of got to be super strict on them with the drinking stuff heavy, like early at a younger age. And I think sometimes for football players, they kind of get away with it a little bit where it's like, I mean, that's like for basketball players, it's a little bit different. Cause I even remember when, listening to the one of Angel Reese Jones, I think it was Joan with her and her mom, and she was sitting here saying how even if she wanted to drink, she couldn't because every time they went to a party, everybody and their mother got a camera pointing at her. So it's like, it's a little bit different for basketball players because people get, we can see you. Where a football player is like, you may be a dog. And unless you like Joe Burrow, people may not know what you look like. So it's kind of like you kind of get away with a little bit more of the drinking stuff and you're a dude. So it may be a little bit different, but I do think realistically, parents you even got to have that conversation with your kids when it comes to drinking. Like, bro, like, you don't even need to be driving, like get an Uber or whatever on your phone. Like you should have that. Like, I don't know. Like I said, you absolutely, it's hard to say, it's easy to try to Monday night quarterback these conversations now. But I think sometimes for parents, it is like, you got to try your best to have every conversation, even the conversations you feel like you don't want to have, you probably need to have them just so you can kind of to avoid some of these situations. Not saying you still can, but just the hopes and pray that you can. Cause shit, just looking for all the youngest who went to school with him, like for Jalen Daniels, for Malik Neighbors, like this was their teammate. And you think about, especially for you talking about younger athletes, where it's like this all they. If you this all you know, you probably haven't grew up in certain places where you had to experience death at a young age. So this is your first real, like, damn, this was my teammate. This is you didn't had all different types of memories and moments with them, and now you got to kind of have that conversation with that young adults now, for like the Jaden Daniels, and of course like the Malik Neighbors is like you their parents now. You got to kind of helicopter the parent and really check on them and make sure that they cool, because this was their teammate. This was somebody they made history with. Like that, man, that's rough. Like I said, thoughts and prayers to everybody who are affiliated with that LSU team. Everybody who is affiliated with the past and his family. I know that's gonna be like, damn, that's gonna be rough, though. Like just even losing a kid and then still just like thinking about like you can't even gonna be able to watch the draft. You're not even gonna want to be on the phone. Because just think about because you like, I'm sure to have a kid to be able to make it to the draft, I'm sure y'all had to love football. You had to be able to push them. So I'm sure that's something that y'all done their entire life, something y'all watched together your entire life. So it's like you probably ain't even gonna be able to watch football the same no more. And that's why sometimes when you like, especially when you're talking about people finding ways to transition themselves and take their own life away, it's like, man, you affect so many people. That's just, I mean, when we talk about just life and death in general, like that is just such a hard, especially if you can kind of try your best to be the reason to avoid it. Because like, you kind of like, you don't just take away your own life, you kind of ruin the life of your closest family members. And I know people get upset when you had those when you say stuff like that, but it's kind of like, damn, like, bro, I can't imagine his mom and his dad and his sister, like, and they was the last ones, like, probably, like, I don't know, who knows what him and his sister was arguing with, but she gonna have to, like, I'm sure that's going to crush her and haunt her for a long time, dog. So again, like I said, man, thoughts and prayers to that entire family and just to everybody who is affiliated with that, with that LSU family. Let's switch gears. Let's try to find something to lighten the mood real quick. Oh, here we go.
You need to have in order to date me, a single mom of 3 kids. Number 1 is that you need to be making at least 130K a year, and you need to have at least 2 side hustles. If you cannot make 130K or more, then you are out of my fucking league. How do you expect to give me money for my kids if you only make 50K a year? Second is I don't date men that are younger than me because for obvious reasons. So if you are 26 and over, then you qualify. 26 to 35 is the age limit. Okay, I feel like 35 is pushing it because they look old as fuck already. Oh, I'm 26. I'm a baby. So yeah, you have to have at least 3 cars under your name. Your second car has to have
I apologize for even playing this because now I'm starting to really like play. Like sometimes I see certain jokes, I'm like, I'm gonna save it so we can talk about it. But then when you start to play it, I'm like, bro, and just looking at this girl, bro, she is too mid to even like. I can't even address this. Like I can't even give a real opinion on this. Like I apologize for even playing this. Like that was just trying for me to try to transition the conversation, but it's like, bro, stop. Like what are we doing right now? Like come on, like you just too mid to even talk like that. Like what are we doing though? Oh my god. I feel like I should. Oh, here we go. Let's go to Usher.
You've never met Usher? How did it happen?
Well, in this particular instance, there's this area where you sit, and it's funny because they say, Mr. Raymond's going to walk past here, do not move. He's going to be just walking through.
Okay.
He wasn't even supposed to stop where we were. It was like magnetic, and he smells like vacation.
Why did he pick you?
Well,
Why not,
meant
Larry?
to be, Larry.
Why not?
One of the young ladies was telling him I'm a retired homeschool mom and that this should be her moment, not hers. And the lady was from the UK. And he said, well, come on over here because I just finished homeschooling my daughter who finished all her studies last year.
Oh, yeah, she has a doctorate at 17.
At 17, yes, ma'am. And so he brought me closer and I locked in. I brought out all the Broadway magic that I had, but it was easy. He has a magnetic personality, and I'm really excited about this opportunity because now the Harold Washington is getting a lot of play. People are following things that my daughter is doing it, but with that does come some ups and downs.
Oh, yeah.
So I first saw this on X. Somebody shared the video and said the description of the video was that like this woman, her husband divorced her because of her connection with Usher and everything else. So that's just completely not true.
That is
just to get that out there because a lot of people are seeing this video in that context.
Completely false. I am single. I am a retired homeschool mom looking to expand the arts here and across the pond. I am single. You got a cherry? Give me a jingle. Who knows?
She's getting cherry. Were you in the front?
Give me a cherry and you may get a jingle. So for just real quick, I only played that clip just to kind of talk about that conversation from last week. So the lady was, and I even said it, I told you I didn't believe that story was true anyway when we talked about it last week. But she is not married. She was not married. She did not get divorced from her husband from that. And that's why, like I said, when I originally seen that post, I'm like, bro, I'm not going to sit here and run with this and even use that as a part of the conversation when we were talking about it. Because I just like, bro, this was just some random Twitter account. Like, there's no way in hell y'all thought I was just about to sit here and believe that. I'm like, it just kind of didn't make no sense at all. I do real quick. What I wanted to sit here and say just real quick. Oh yeah, just for any of my people who may be listening and you are a WNBA fan, I'm not gonna lie to you. If you kind of really want to test the water on how strong y'all think the WNBA is going to be next season, y'all better pray that LeBron and Luka don't make it to the finals. If the Lakers make it to the finals, it's going to be, and I'm gonna still watch all my Angel Reese games, but it's gonna be quiet for any WNBA conversation. Like, y'all want to see how fast that Caitlin Clark shit ran, absolutely the air go out of the tires immediately? Let LeBron and Luka make it to the finals. Because the WNBA kind of got lucky last year where it was like, it was the Celtics. Nobody really don't care about Jason Tatum like that. And they was playing the Mavs like, let it be the Lakers. Like, if the Lakers make it to the, I don't care who they playing. Let them Lakers make it to the finals. I swear to God, you can cut on whatever station you want. I'm telling you, they not going to say, they worried about a WNBA, nothing. It ain't gonna be no old rap. You could put a fork in all that shit. Like I'm kind of, even when I was looking at their schedule, I'm like, damn, the WNBA kind of stupid. Why would you schedule them the first couple of clock and reach jumps while the NBA still going on? Like, how you thinking, man? All right, you better Let the trust me, listen to what I'm telling you. Let the Lakers sit here and make it far in the NBA playoffs. Nick, I promise you, it's gonna be extremely quiet for that. While we talking about just other stuff, random stuff. Shout outs to Kendrick Lamar and SZA. They put out a video for Luther. And the person who directed the Luther video is from Canada, and this woman directed 4 Drake videos. She directed God's Plan, I'm Upset, In My Feelings, and Nice for What. Do I feel like that was kind of like another little jab from Kendrick Lamar? Of course. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot of stadium tours this summer. You got SZA and Kendrick Lamar, you got Beyonce, you got Chris Brown. I do feel like all of them kind of
is Chris Brown's in them bigger
than what?
In a baseball stadium?
I think that's the only Jonas and a baseball stadium when it's here.
No. I think I seen other ones that's actually in a baseball. I don't think that.
I mean, I don't know.
I thought I saw other.
I don't necessarily know. I hope. I don't think he can sell that many Jones. Like, yeah, I don't think so. Why
you don't think so for real?
Hell, a baseball stadium.
That's why I'm wondering. Do it?
Well, I don't know how many do a baseball stadium hold. Way more than a football. I think they probably like neck to neck with people because some baseball. It depends on the baseball.
Because I feel like it's kind of like a cheat code if you. Because you know how even like in a football stadium, they're gonna block off half of the stadium already for the stage.
Depends.
But that's what I'm saying for the base. I ain't never seen nobody use a full arena. I feel like everywhere it's blocked off.
Beyonce did.
It was still blocked off in the back. I'm not saying like the whole half, but you still got the back area of the stage.
Yeah, it was just that back part.
But I'm saying before baseball, it's a diamond shape. So if you was just like in the outfield was where you had the stage set up, so everybody else behind you.
I don't necessarily know, to be honest. I honestly don't know, but I just realistically I don't know. I honestly don't know. I kind of want to see which one is going to be like. I feel like all 3 of them got their own different fan bases, but I do think that they have mutuals. And I ain't even look at the dates to see when they all. I know Kendrick Lamar don't come first, but I feel like the Kendrick Lamar and the Beyonce don't kind of like run right behind each other. With the time frame, it was something else I was looking at that I wanted to. I don't care about that bill bullshit. Well, I guess we can get into some plane crashes. I ain't mean to say it like that, but there's a lot of them. I'm trying to look for the news clips of these Jones.
Plane down in Boca Raton, Chopper 6 over that wreckage right there on the train tracks. You can see it clearly on your screen right now. It happened on Military Trail right near Glades Road. NBC6's Amanda Placencia has arrived on the scene.
Well, he arrived here on the scene just a few moments ago, and what I can tell you is that a small plane went down here in Boca Raton. And I'm going to step out of the way so you can see the scene. You can see the tail of that small plane sticking out, as well as debris next to that blue tarp along the fence, as investigators are out here working to find plane plunged from the sky and fell near the train tracks along Military Trail and Glades Road in Boca Raton. Now, according to Flight Radar 24, the aircraft is a Cessna 310R and was headed to Tallahassee, but appeared to do many circles as it turned around back to Boca Raton Airport. Witnesses who work nearby and saw the crash shared this video with us as first responders arrived. They told us off camera that they saw the plane for a little bit flying low and then felt their building shake when it crashed. Then the plane caught on fire with plumes of smoke billowing into the air. Plane plunged.
I mean, I could tie it into the other Jones, but I kind of want to give them all their own little space. I guess my question to y'all is, at this point, do you think that they showing them because they're trying to make this stuff seem normal, or do you think they're trying to fear people? But it's just
fear people. That's what I think.
Are flights cheaper now?
It all depends where you going or where you trying to get to.
Well, that's a lot of planes been crashing, dog. A lot. I wonder, like, is it? That's why I said I wonder, are they trying to scare people, or is this just like really was just how it's just going? Because it's like, bro, like last week it was like 5 of them Jones.
I think it's more was scary, or even I think more of a, because when you get in like I said, a car or anything like that, you pick the driver, you know who you getting with, you know how long they've been, you know what I'm saying, like with companies. But you talking about I'm in a plane, well, I don't know how long they've been flying or whatever the case may be. And I think more so are these companies where because look how many cases was going out about the Boeing jets. You know what I'm saying, like how they had a lot of failures. So now that's why I'm saying I think them reporting these accidents and stuff like that is kind of like, oh, I told you you just wasn't right, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I feel like they trying to push a narrative more so out now with all with this information. Because we were, like you said, we wasn't seeing as many flights go down or even had problems.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't necessarily know, but again, I guess we can kind of tie this one into because and this one was kind of messed up because I was like, bro, why is this even like you can watch this on social media? So for people, I'm sure if you've seen it or you heard about the plane crash in New York City, they were doing like it was almost like you was like they were doing a helicopter trip. Basically, the same way people get on doing the horse and carriage around New York, you're doing a tour around New York, and the junk literally crashed. And I'm like, bro, why is this on social media where people can watch this junk? Like you literally watch this helicopter just literally fall out of the air and just like blow up. I'm like, bro, like why? Like it's so messed up because it's like, bro, it was people in there. Like 6 people died in this junk, and y'all real live this junk just bare ass like on social media. Like this ain't even like, you know how sometimes on Instagram or one of them don't say like you got to click this video because it may be sensitive. Like no, it's just literally this crash. I'm like, bro, I seen this junk like 20 times before I even realized this happened in New York City. I'm like, bro, this is crazy.
And then it fell apart like midair. I think they said he called in and said that they needed fuel. And next thing you know, when the tail fell off, like if the plane fell apart.
Yeah, man. Like, oh my God. Like when you see stuff like, I don't even know what to think of. Like, oh my, it's just so because in your brain it's just like when we talk about parenting and you talk about this man was on this junk with his kids and his wife, like they on it as a family. I believe it was like a family of 5. And you see, and so I think that the pilot made the 6th person.
I want to say it was a daughter, one of the daughters, like one of her birthday. It was a daughter's birthday.
Come on, dog. Like that just be crazy, dog. Like, oh my, like, and it show like, why is it on social media like that, though?
And but even like was you saying that on social media, that I mean, not too many people spoke on it, but I think now people starting to cover it. But even like that club collapsing in
in the Dominican Republic,
there was a couple of baseball players and
I want to say, and rest in peace to all the people. I want to say they said the toll of death. No, it's like 212 now.
Oh shit. Yeah, I know when they started identifying the baseball player and the sisters and I think the music artist, I don't know who was performing and all that, but when they started identifying them, I think it was like at 168 that was the last thing I heard. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, that's I mean, and of course, I think they were sitting here saying that that it was a pool. It was what I was sitting here saying that basically it was like almost like a hole in the wall a little bit, and you could. They were saying like the joint it was becoming a popular club. So I want to say like, of course, you know the whoever owned the club probably paid to expect the kind of the look the other way, or kind of the fire marshal allowing more people in there that was actually supposed to be in there. But it's like, damn, like that's just so crazy. And that was to me sometimes like, you know how you can see like perfect example. I'm glad you kind of tied it in with that. Like sometimes you can see the helicopter joint and be like, all right, cool. I never go there anyway. So I mean, I would never get on no helicopter ride anyway. It's easy. It's sometimes when you can see certain stuff happen, it's so easy to kind of like brush it off and
judge
be like,
it from your outside.
I know, yeah, like I would never do that anyway, so it won't be me. But when you see stuff like the club, it's like, bro, it don't necessarily have to be a club. You go to it. I looked at it like, damn, that could happen in the gym. That shit can happen anyway because that's just a building, the roof collapsing. Like that can happen anyway. That's not something saying like that's something that's in like that it can't happen because okay, if this same again, like I said, the gym or the grocery store, anywhere you go, if it's been up for years, it can happen anywhere. Like this is not something that is just like a one-off where you can kind of be like, I ain't getting in no helicopter. I ain't planning to get on no airplane no time soon. Because I can look at some of them plane crashes and be like, yeah, I'm cool. I'll holler at y'all in like 2 years when they figure out what's going on with all these planes. But you can't do that when you see stuff like you said with the joint in the Dominican Republic, because it's like, bro, you go into a building every day. Like that literally can happen anywhere. So again, like I said, man, rest in peace to all those people. And it just sometimes, and I think it was even a crash. What was it? I want to say it was a joint at Reagan. No, it was one at the Reagan. Again,
no, it wasn't a crash. I think they bumped into
like
going out. I don't think they actually was in the air. I think they clipped each other.
I'm trying to look and see if I can find a news report for this young man. I believe his name is Carmelo. His name is crazy. His name is Carmelo Anthony, but he
spelled it. Wow.
He spelled it differently. And he was at a track meet, and I believe he stabbed another young man. They were in a tent or having an argument. And the crazy thing is, like when I'm hearing the story and I'm listening to people explain it, and the sad thing is, it seemed like it may be just a him when it comes to the stories, it seems like it may be a him versus them thing. And I've seen a lot of people, of course, like on social media, making it,
bullying type. What you mean?
No, when I say him versus them, is like his version of the story versus everybody else who went to the other school.
Oh.
Because there's not no video footage of it, and I think he may have been the only person from his school over there in that tent.
In that time.
So I'm listening, when I'm listening to the details of the story and I'm hearing people explain the joint, it's kind of make me be like, damn, because it's like, I'm looking at it two different ways where it's like, I see people defending him, and of course people tying it into like a whole bunch of like Kyle Rittenhouse and all these other people, like they can defend themselves, but he can't with a knife. Well, like that, screw that part. Because I don't want to make like, I don't know, list eliminate, and y'all know if I could, it's easy to make it a race thing. I don't even want to do that. I'm looking at this is still like two kids. Like these are kids. Like this happened between two kids. And it's kind of, again, when we talk about just how people are raising their kids, and it's to the point where it's like, I don't necessarily know I don't know what scenario where it's like, especially if you somebody, if you eliminate the race part, if this was two black kids and it was two white kids, it don't matter what it was, and you eliminate the race and you just make it about kids, it's like, damn, you raising your kid to the point where he couldn't just take an L, even if it was just fighting. If they was bullying him, he just couldn't get in a fight and just take his L, or just allow, or just move on to the point where it's like, even if he was scared, it was like, why did it skip the fighting part and then you pick up a knife? Like that part to me, like I can't, like I understand there's so many black people who upset and want to make it a race thing, like, oh, he defending himself. And even GoFundMe took down his jump because it was like, it still happened to another kid. And that's why I don't want to make it a race thing, because that could be somebody kid that you love. Like that could have been your kid. So I don't want it to sit here and make this a black versus white thing. Like, no, this was two kids, dog. And that's the messed up part, because it was like, you wouldn't want that to be your kid, and the other little boy passed away in his twin brother arms. Like when we talk about traumatic stuff going into family, the same way there's no way my human capacity or how I am as a human, I can't erase how I would feel sad for that family with the young boy in LSU and not feel sad for this young boy at a track meet. I don't care what it was. I've listened to him telling you, I've been in high school, and I've been in high school when school rival schools and it's real beef and people fighting in schools. That just come with the territory of two rival schools. That doesn't mean that somebody should lose their life because of it. Like I was in high school with people in the DMV when Suitland versus Lago was a thing. People used to, after them games or football or basketball, people used to fight. That comes with high school sports. Even for the newer generation who may be a little younger, Wise and Flowers, like but that doesn't mean it should go from fighting to somebody losing their life.
Things have changed. Kids don't fight the same no more.
But I guess that was the part for me where it kind of got confusing, where I didn't understand why people was running to the race thing, because I'm like, y'all don't got kids. Like that was the part to me where it was like, I don't care if he was even outnumbered by, if it was just one black kid and it was 20 white kids. I don't necessarily still think it meant I can't respect the stat. Let's kids, dog.
But I feel like we don't know the backstory. Granted, it's kids, and but we don't know the backstory of how it happened or why he even felt the need to have to carry a knife on him.
Oh, for sure. I understand that part. But it still is just like.
But in this generation, we already know kids don't.
But then, so I guess then my question would be is then who takes some of the blame when we're sitting here saying a kid is you taking a knife to a football game? Like this ain't so even
okay. But okay. Granted, having a knife is dangerous or whatever, but do you put that on the same consequences if that young lady who hit the girl in the head with the baton? Now, granted, she claiming it was an accident, but if she would have hit her in the head and she died right there on the track, how would they feel? What would be your response to that then? And those were two black girls too.
Hold on, say it one more time.
How you when we say we don't know what transpired or whatever the case may be, what happened in that tent, but with that incident with the young lady running the track, if she would have killed that girl from hitting her in the head or whatever, what would you think the response would be for that? Like, because somebody still lost their life, right?
Right.
So what would you think that response would be? More so, like I said, we don't know what happened in the tent and why he defended himself or why he stabbed somebody up. But do you feel like will both of them still be held on the same?
I think it's two different things because you're talking about like you can't. It's hard to compare those two things. Like it's completely different. You sitting here saying somebody maybe you're saying even if it wasn't an accident, this was just in the midst of just. I want to say let's just keep it an accident. Let's just sit here and say even though when we seen the video we didn't think it was an accident, but let's just say it was an accident. It's a difference between an accident and you actually taking a weapon out your bag.
And it's an accident.
Like yeah, so I won't play. I don't hope this ain't on the music.
He raised over Kyle Rittenhouse. After he killed 2 people in cold blood, he raised over $1 million. Wait a minute. The officer who killed Michael Brown, he raised almost $2 million. So don't tell me that when black folks decide to put money and support behind a young brother who didn't start a fight, who didn't threaten nobody, who was sitting where he could have right to be sitting, was threatened more than one time, was physically attacked, he defends himself, and then all of a sudden he's in jail for murder. But guess what, brother? We gonna stand behind ours like you white folks stand behind yours.
Okay,
that young brother was attacked.
I know you're yelling because you really get worked up when you're lying. But let me say, let me say.
I'm trying to find a news clip of the John. I kind of think.
Austin Metcalf. Austin got what he deserved. What are we doing?
Rosa Parks days is over. You cannot think that you can move somebody out of a seat that you don't own and think that it's going to be okay. And you can't determine how I'm going to retaliate on you when you put your hands on me in an aggressive manner. Austin Metcalf got exactly what he deserved.
But white people, obviously not all of you, so let me just get that out the way. But a bunch of y'all are just a bunch of racist, bigoted, crisis actors.
To the black people,
I listen to him. I get some people. I can't listen. I guess it ain't no news clips. I was looking for a new. Oh, here you go. Here you go. News clip.
Of the Frisco Police Department to discuss the matter of urgency in escalating racial threats and bigotry and online hate directed at the Anthony family. Let me be clear. The Anthony family cannot leave their home because of the growing threats towards their safety. Their personal address has been exposed. They have received graphic and racist threats. They are being targeted with violence and simply because their child is in the center of this tragedy. We are here just for just. This justice must be fair and impartial and protected from biases. We cannot allow racism and bigotry to divide us. We cannot allow white America to decide.
Yeah, like I said, I was looking for a news clip, but I can't find it's not no news clip of it. It seemed like just everybody just giving their personal opinion on the jump. Like I said, just for me personally, I just can't take I guess I'm getting older, and it's just like I don't want to put the race thing into the jump because this is still, to me, it's 2 kids. Like I can't just like. Yeah, I can't. I'm just sorry. I can't like. It's just like because if this was like I said, if this was 2 black kids, I'm gonna still feel the same way. Like, bro, what's wrong with just a regular fist fight? Like, and so it's just that part to me is like I cannot sit here and be like, dog. I can't get behind it.
I don't know if they justifying it, but if racism was a factor in it, it's probably what they're saying.
But even if it was, that make it right for you to sit here. No, your hands don't work. Why you can't just get in a physical fight? Y'all kids.
What he could have been threatened. He could have been threatened with something, which is why he had the knife. Like we don't know what happened.
I mean, we don't, but I just realistically that uphill
it
battle
doesn't make it right. You like being like, but he felt the need to have it on him. Why did he feel the need to have it on him to begin with?
So then, but then that go. But again, I'm with you on that one. But then that got to me will kind of go into parenting. Like, where are you putting your kid at unsupervised? That he feel like he got to go somewhere with a knife? Like this ain't in the hood. You talking about you? So if you see it, because it can't. Those two things cannot go hand in hand. You can't sit here and say, "Oh, he got a knife," just because he's trying to protect himself. Like I get it. Like if your kid grew up in the hood and your kid, and this, like I'm not gonna lie to you, I may feel completely different about this story if this happened in the hood. Like if this was just something like if you and two Johnson, like you in a treacherous neighborhood or something, kick off and y'all was outside of the playground or something, that may be a little bit different because now you talking about real life or death situations.
What if you living down south and where they just?
That's what I'm about to say. It's white people.
But you
got the knife because protect you because you know how.
But listen to what I'm saying though. I hear you, but you're at a school event, bro. This happened at a school track meet.
Yeah, but how many kids break weapons in school?
Maybe he had to walk home. Like we don't
There's
know.
a lot of kids out here that have pocket knives and all that stuff on them. So I don't know. That's not out of the unordinary.
I mean, I guess to me it seemed crazy. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I hear y'all. I'm cool. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm 90% down with the Black Power stuff any other time, but this one I can't get with it at all.
It's just like that guy. It was a black guy. I think that he was killed. He was running, minding his business. And it was like it was racism, and they murdered him. He could be in an area like that where you don't feel safe, and especially if it was racism involved, and you got to walk back and forth to school or whatever the case may be. He could have had it on him for protection.
Okay, my only thing is, let's just sit here and say, let's just go with that scenario that you just said. If that's the case, then to me, and I hate that I feel like I'm sitting here defending these people, but I gotta be this is my only honest opinion on it. Then why even go over to that other side there? Like let's be clear, because that's just like no.
What other side though? What do you when you say why go to the other side? I never ran track, so I don't know. I'm just going off of the story that I heard and the way they paint the picture. So if you sit here saying he went into a tent where it was, let's just sit here and say it was their whole school or their team or whatever the case may be, and he was the only person from his school over there in that tent, why would you go over there? What's the purpose of you even going over there for? We even talk about listen, but it's what I'm saying. But we even had that conversation even when you sit here and go to certain football or basketball games. I'm like, no, you are crazy for going to this city. Like when we talk about Philly, let's just hypothetically let's just paint that picture. I went over to that tent because that's the only spot I can get my treatment at, or that's the only spot they got the Nutri-Drain bars that I eat. You know what I'm saying, before whatever. We don't, like I said, we don't know the story for that. You know what I'm saying, because you have different tents and for certain things. So let's just say, I was going over there to get seen by the trainer, or I was going to whatever the case may be. I was waiting for my results or something to come back. So you just went over there. That's where you had to go to. I don't think you was like, oh, this is only the white people can hang in this tent. You just went over there just for shits and giggles. You probably went over there for a reason.
I mean, we going, like I said, I don't necessarily know. I don't want to be the judge and the jury on there, but just when I heard that story and just listening to people kind of just make it a complete, like I said, I don't know. I don't even know what city and state they in, but just to hear people kind of make it a complete race thing without making it a kid thing, like these are still kids. That to me is kind of foul. I ain't gonna hold you. Like I hear y'all and I understand it, and we'll see it when it play out in court, and I guess you get more information, but just still hearing it is like, bro, these is kids. Like I still just look at it like, bro, this is kids. Like I can't, my brain don't eliminate that this still happened to two kids. I don't care if it's white, black, or whatever the case may be. There's still two kids. I would still feel the same way. Like, dog, nobody wants their kid to get into a fight in high school and then get their life taken. Because nobody, like you would, like if we didn't play enough stories on here, nobody wouldn't feel no type of like niggas will be like, oh, they deserve to be up under the jail if these was two black. If this happened between two black kids, nobody would sit here and feel sorry for that little boy. So because the person we almost damn near just as bad as they are, because you basically sit here saying because he did it to a little white boy, it's like everybody gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, nah, that's foul, dog. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm cool on that one. While we talking about parents and talking about people to go to
jail, this will help and his shoulders, and then made the statement like this will help teach you foreplay for when you have a girlfriend. That's how evil this conduct was. So she's in jail.
All of this reported to deputies by the principal after another counselor in the room sent it up the chain. And this wasn't the first time she made comments towards him.
She had made statements to him in the past to include calling him sexy chocolate. And that just added to our probable cause that she had a interest in him.
Sheriff Judd saying the boy's parents are disgusted.
We calmed the parents down and said, look, she's going to be held accountable for this outrageous conduct.
The Polk County School Board issuing a statement saying, in part, this is abhorrent behavior for anyone who works among students, especially an administrator. This person no longer has any business being around children. But Sheriff Judd says parents should not worry.
It is a great school, and she's out. It's a safe place to send your children.
Kiva Lark is in jail facing lewd conduct and offenses against a student. At the Polk County Sheriff's Office, Evan Moon, Fox 13 News.
So for people, if you didn't hear what the story was, it was basically a assistant principal, or basically I guess a vice principal, was having a student come and rub her feet and was calling him sexual chocolate and was sitting here telling the little boy that she was teaching him how to foreplay by rubbing a woman's foot.
Where do they find these teachers?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. No, when I would just where they find those teachers is sometimes when I hear these stories, I ain't gonna lie to you. And this is kind of messed up. I'd be like, damn, why this stuff didn't happen when I was in school?
It did, but the teachers you ain't know about it.
So just as parents, like just because y'all got, I mean, well, you got boys. Just even, I guess, Eric, if you could put your brain to if you had a son, how would you respond to this? Like, would you really be mad?
What? Yes.
Does it matter how old your son is? So if this, let's say if your son was in the 7th grade and this happened, would you be mad?
He's 7th grade. You a grown ass woman. Tell your man to massage your feet.
Marcus is a father.
Hell yeah.
Why would you wouldn't be? You would be okay with it?
If my son,
we just got on the damn. Remember the teacher for getting his head taken out of. They go in PG County.
Yeah, that was different because that was little girls. But you talking about this was my son.
It's still like
right. So I would have a problem with you sitting there rubbing. You don't even rub my own damn feet. You rubbing some fucking stranger your teacher's feet.
In the 7th, if my son was in the 7th grade, I don't necessarily know how mad I'll be. I'm being honest with y'all.
Why?
You tripping?
It's gonna lead to something else. Why is she having your son, grown ass 30 or 40-year-old woman, your 7th grade?
She looked like she was older than that. I ain't even gonna hold you.
Right,
She looked crazy.
Was she grooming him? I've emailed teachers for less. I'm going to the school behind this one.
Damn, y'all a tough crowd. What's going on? Oh no, some bullshit you said. It was one more. Oh yeah, let's go. I know. Hold on. We just on that. I'm looking for this judge. Oh, matter of fact, hold on.
A mass shooting in a Spotsylvania County neighborhood.
3 people were killed, at least 3 others wounded, and the video from witnesses just downright terrifying. Fredericksburg City Schools on a 2-hour delay today as the community deals with the aftershock.
So for people who didn't see that video, this was somewhere. What was this in? Like Fredericks, Virginia, or something like? Is this? Hold on. Is this part of Virginia?
Shooting in a Spotsylvania County neighborhood.
3 people were killed, at least 3 others wounded, in the video.
Did y'all see how small these little dudes? Like the guns was literally bigger than them. Yeah. And that kind of tie when we talking about just like kids, we talking about parenting, bro. Like that's like you can tell that was and they could have been like maybe late. They look like kids though, bro. Like I'm just looking at their body language. They got schema, so I can't really tell how old they are. But they couldn't have been nowhere near in the world older than 18. I'm just going off of just body structure. Like they just so small and so fragile, and you literally just coming in somebody's neighborhood, ski masked up, and you literally just drilling through the whole neighborhood. Like that's my point of sitting here saying we talking about how people parent and people are not really just locked in and really being parents where you kind of just half-ass parenting. Like did your kid out here, like you can't even say like where they hiding this gun at? You can't sit here and say, oh, I ain't know my kid got these type of guns in the house or whatever the case may be. Like, bro, like come on, dog. What are we doing? Like that's just insane. Like when they get caught, their parents should get charged just as well. Because there's no way in hell you sitting here telling me that like where they put this gun at? Like you can't like how did they hide this? But I do want to talk about this little pregnancy job.
Recognizes that the responsibility that the mom is bearing doesn't begin at birth, but starts months before that.
And while I agree with you on that, I think we also agree on the free exercise of religion, correct?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Definitely. Yes, Senator.
So how does this square with Judaism, which believes that life begins at first breath?
Well, Senator, I would say if the purpose of our child support system is to make sure that both parents are sharing in those responsibilities, and the mom who's obviously physically bearing the child, that the mom isn't left without help. And so I don't think it's a matter of dispute that expenses and medical care, and those needs arise before birth. And this recognizes that.
But this bill is creating an obligation to the mother or to the child.
Well, Senator, that's a great point. This makes sure that the mother is taking care of prenatal care and postnatal care. Most of this, the framework that Senator Menendez and Senator Hinojosa were talking about, and you know, that framework already exists. We're just clarifying that the mom has already had some need for help before the birth takes place.
Should parents start socking away money for what amounts to a performance bond if they have a male child once they reach puberty?
I don't know. Help me out with that question.
Once, say, boy child becomes sexually active, since they are now open to the risk of some financial responsibility whenever they have sex, should parents start establishing some kind of bond for that child's sexual activity until they become an adult and can pick up that bond on their own?
Well, Senator, whatever risk that exists today without Senate Bill 942, the difference is that the financial responsibility would begin at birth. So we're talking about significant cost and significant child support responsibility once a child is born. In the grand scheme of the amount that a father would owe, this is not a whole lot of money, but it does recognize it to the mom.
Dang, hold on, that's a tough one right there. That one to me that kind of almost erased the whole rest of the conversation beforehand. That is kind of crazy. Like, what if, because they sit here saying, for maybe the people who didn't understand what they were saying, this is a new bill that they're trying to pass in Texas where whatever date that the woman figures out that she got pregnant, that you will have to start paying child support from that point on. So that lady asked a good question. What if it's a teen pregnancy? So like, let's sit here and say a young boy and a young girl get pregnant. Do you put the young boy on child support at that early of an age still, because he's not really an adult?
Still a child involved.
So you feel like the kid should be put on child support anyway?
Well, 9 times out of 10, the child might not have a job. So then
you just going back pay?
I don't know if it's back pay, but then I think you probably might have forced them to get a job. I mean, because shit, at teenage age, you
know, the crazy thing is, I guess, I guess that was a kind of extreme, because I do feel like realistically, if 2 teenagers have kids, I don't necessarily know. It ain't that normally don't become the deadbeat baby daddy we even get on child support that early. Like, I don't necessarily know. Like, I have never heard of that story, because most of the time it'd be like y'all fake want to be together still, y'all want to be in love or whatever the case may be, and y'all parents kind of probably even make y'all force y'all, especially if you got 2 decent parents that y'all been raised by, they kind of make y'all force each other to be in a relationship. Like, one of the parents may even let y'all stay at the house or whatever the case may be. So that one kind of maybe a little bit the extreme left, but I guess take that scenario out and go back into the bigger picture where it's more realistic on a day-to-day basis, when they sitting saying, as adults, where they sitting here saying, the child support will start soon as the child is conceived. So as soon as the woman figure out, hey, I missed my cycle or whatever the case may be, she take the pregnancy test, boom, I'm pregnant. I guess from that day forward, or after her first doctor's appointment, now you're on load for child support. How do y'all feel about that? Do you think that's okay, or is that doing too much?
She still need help. Like, things still need to be taken care of.
I get that part, and I see that picture. I think the more question for me is, how do you even know for sure? Like, I think is it a fraternity test before? Because anybody can say.
I guess at this point they say they can do them. I mean, they can do them early now. So
no, I'm saying, but before you place me on that, will you do the fraternity test?
I mean, of course.
Yeah, I think that's a must. So we doing the fraternity test, and then it shows that see, and that's why I say I don't see where's the problem, because like I said, at an early age, that's when you really need help in that money. So I'm not mad at it. Yeah. Now, could you, like I said, can you really charge that much, or can you ask for a crazy amount? Because like you don't have a job, so you and lines.
No. We took it out of the kid. I'm talking about just regular adults.
That's what I'm saying. Child support goes off of your job, your income.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But if you don't have a job, then that's when I'm forcing you. Yes, you need to get a job. Blah blah blah. So I might start off at you only paying $30 a month.
Hey, can I be all right? Just real quick, can we? No, if y'all, especially, I mean, of course, like let's bump the age up. Let's just sit here and talk. I'm not talking to people in their 20s. I'm talking about people in their 30s. If y'all having sex with people without no job, it's just crazy, though. Especially raw sex, it's just ridiculous. Like, dog, because sometimes we gotta like again when we talk about that conversation on just having the conversation before even bringing kids into the world, like what type of baby shower would you like? Like, bro, we gotta start having some realistic adult conversations so we can completely eliminate some of those wild type of scenarios. Because that is ridiculous for you to sit here and say this man ain't even got no job and you letting him hunt you up with no rubber. Like, come on, dog. Like you
said when you go out, like, you don't want to hear that, oh, well, what do you do for a living? So if you don't want to hear, so how are you supposed to know if they have a job? They can talk like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't ask them about it.
I think you can realistically, you can kind of judge even off of at least the quality of dates.
What if they could put on a good show?
You only be able to put on a good show for so long.
Shit. Let's put on great shows.
For how long?
Look, the same niggas that go around, got 5 different girlfriends, don't have a job, move from house to house. You can put on a show.
Listen to what I'm saying though. You're missing the point. You allowing somebody to put on a show just off a good talk game, but they're not showing.
But it could be more than just talk game. You could be finessing one girl out of her, using her car, you got the money from somebody else. So you can finesse.
So how good of a date do you think somebody could take you on without a job? And how many of them? We talking about having sex with to the point you talking about raw sex where you're allowing this person and you not even thinking twice about not keeping the kid. Like, what are we talking about, dog? Like so you basically sitting here saying, oh yeah, he took me on 2 dates and we went to Roof Chris one time. The other time we just went on a walk in the park, and the next time I let him shoot my club up, and I didn't think twice of it. Like, nah, come on.
Okay, but if he finesse it where we don't like you saying because he took you to Roof Chris, but what if the dates that he did take you on was more meaningful and put thought into it? It wasn't expensive. It was more thought and a creativity that kind of took you by storm. This man don't got a job, but yes, we still going on dates every weekend, and you whining.
That's what I'm saying. Keep the rubber on there, dog. Like that's just all I'm just saying.
But you saying take the rubber off because he took you to Roof Chris?
I'm not saying take the rub off at all, but I'm just sitting here saying like, we gotta start making as adults. You gotta that decision making got to be a little bit more responsible, because I feel like a lot of these conversations, because people just be not like you just making reckless decisions as an adult.
Well, then the conversation will go back to on the first date or whatever. What do you do? You can't get mad at somebody.
Yeah, I mean, cool. Yeah, cool. That's fine. That's fine. But still, to the point where it's just like, all right, cool. After that, then what? So, all right, cool. What to say if whatever the job, okay, you got a job now, you shouldn't steal. Like, I'm cool with the Texas passing that law. I just think people got to start having better conversations. I think people got to actually start having real conversations, actually getting to know people before y'all sit here and jump to the raw diggity dog.
All right. So if you up, right, you got the money, you got a job, but then once you got her pregnant, you lose the job. But you already had the baby, but he was up at one point. Now you don't have a job. Then what?
They're cool. So, but listen to what I'm saying. So this, okay, cool. They don't have a job, but I will hope that person made you comfortable enough in who they are as a human being, because that's the point of where I sit here and say the job thing don't matter. Because y'all making it seem we talking about job, you talking about child support, because you talking about somebody being a deadbeat. So that goes all into characteristics. Screw, because you can eliminate all that. I don't have to have no job to make me. That doesn't mean that I can't be a great father. Because what's just sit here and say if you was somebody who you was financially, as a woman, you financially stable, where you can afford to take care of you a kid, and you can take care of the baby father as like a older child. Like, it's cool. I'm gonna keep the roof over our head, and I'm gonna put the food in the refrigerator, but you still need to be able to show up as a father. If I can still show up as a father, that she don't have no reason to put me on child support. Child support is somebody who's being a completely deadbeat, and you're not trying to have no involvement in that child's life. So now you're trying to take them for some financial burden. So then again, like I said, when we talking about getting to know people, they don't have nothing to do with the money.
But
it's the person.
But that's the thing. But most of the time, and how people who end up on child support do, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you can, regardless of what you do for the child. That's why I say I think they putting that in place so the child don't need more later on down the road. I think that's why they're trying to put it in the beginning part where, all right, you already building that foundation where the cost can go down or whatever the case may be.
I mean, yeah, that's cool. I guess we kind of switch gears and get a little bit back into the hip hop entertainment space. So Carrie Hilson went on to the Breakfast Club this week, and she basically, while she was on the Breakfast Club, came out and because I'm sure, I mean, for people, if you're not familiar, basically the Beehive kind of packed Carrie Hilson up and made her go into early retirement. So Carrie Hilson has been literally out of the spotlight, has been out, like literally ain't put out no music in over 15 years. She's kept it super low after she did the remix to Turning Me On, and she was dissing Beyonce. I didn't even know that line was crazy. Like, what was it, Joe? I shot the sheriff, but wait until I shoot down the B. Like, that line was OD. But and it's so crazy, like the Beehive packed her up, and it wasn't even like prime social media yet. Like, she kind of got packed up straight off of Twitter, like Twitter and early Instagram. Because that ain't even like today. Like today, like that happened in today's time, it probably would be even 100 times worse. Like, she got kind of like packed up like super crazy. So she went on there and told the Breakfast Club that basically it wasn't her. She didn't write the song. Polo the Don kind of like strong arm, because at that time she was signed to Polo the Don and signed to Timberland. It was a joint venture with whatever major label that it was signed to. And at that time, Esther Dean was the one writing it. So she never came out and said that it was Esther Dean, but she was basically like, hey, I took the L for that, whatever the case may be, all this time. I never sit here and told people who ghost wrote it or whatever the case may be. I never even said that Polo the Don forced me to make it, whatever the case may be, because I was trying to save face for everybody else so they can still, like people can still do whatever they needed to do. And then Esther Dean came out, I guess, when people was tagging her on the Breakfast Club clip. I don't know how people even assumed or even knew that it was her. And then she came under the comments and said, yeah, I wrote it and did. So then after that, and that's when people kind of went crazy on her and made her apologize. But it was a clip flying around. It was an old interview of Carrie Hilson kind of like holding her nuts on the diss song.
So I have to ask you a question. This is a must-ask question as well. There's a rumor going on that Polo the Don talked you into the studio, leaked a record that's considered a diss song for Beyonce and Ciara. Is that true?
It's considered that. Yes, Polo had this idea. No, he did not leak it. It's not the version Polo wanted out.
Okay.
Especially the version with him talking all over it. You know, it sounds like he's instigating something and giving more meaning into the lyrics than were initially intended. But no, he didn't like force me to do anything. I mean, it was a suggestion and I told him, okay, I'll try it. You know, I'll try it. And that was just it. He was like, I want it a little more fiery, and that's cool. That's cool with me. I speak my mind and you know, I make no apologies for it. So, you know, it's a hot verse. I love the verse. Yes, I heard specific names being brought up. No, it's not about that. No, you know, that was not where the energy was. I'm not retracting or you know, feeling some kind of way about how people feel that I'm doing, you know, that I did this. I'm not, I guess that's the only way I could say it. I'm not retracting. It's just that was never the energy behind it.
Okay.
But we did play it for people, and it's considered a leak because we decided not to go with it. And I can prove that because it's like when you do a remix to a song, you kind of want it to be for the remix to come out while the song is really hot.
So again, like I said, Esther Dean came out and they went crazy on Esther Dean. So she ended up apologizing to Carrie Hilson and basically sitting here saying like she take responsibility for it. And then the people was kind of like, damn, that's messed up that you allowed this girl career to basically get ended. And you know for a fact that she wasn't the only person that had no type of real say-so in the jump. And it did kind of make me, I guess, when we had those conversations about when people are geeking to get these record deals and geeking to sit here and sign to these to these labels, how realistically you don't have as much control as you do as an independent artist. So it was kind of just like, if she didn't do it, she felt like Polo Don was basically holding it over her head, like he was going to drop her. Like, okay, if you don't do this, I'm not putting your album out. So you're going to have a hot song regardless. Even still, her career kind of was going to go either way. I do think Carrie Hilson, I think she do one guess in her favor. She's a beautiful woman. She can actually sing. And I mean, of course, you see some people, that's why the clip even resurfaced, because of course, people love Beyonce at a different level. That Beehive is probably neck and neck between the Bobs, where it's like the most vicious, craziest fan base online. So it's kind of like some of them still gonna hold grudges, because it was a lot of people like, I don't believe her, we don't care what Esther Dean said. But then there was some people who was like, all right, time has passed. Like, bro, that happened 15 years ago. Kind of like they got over it. Like, allow her to at least try to find a way to I guess reevaluate her career and kind of try to bring her career back to life. I don't necessarily know if she can, because I mean, maybe with R&B it's a little bit different, because I feel like you can. That may be the coolest thing about R&B. If your music is relatable, it's like you never can get too old to make an R&B song. We're like with rappers, we be kind of like, man, damn, you old, bro. You still talking about selling dope. Where it's like for somebody like, again, like when we talk about Jeezy and them now, it's like you kind of on the fence, not really geeking to hear the new Jeezy. Like, you rather hear ESTG and people compare him to like, oh, he the new Jeezy, because you rather hear the newer version of that, way it's like, you really may be still connected to the streets. But for somebody like R&B, it's a little bit different. Tying it into the Usher and other older R&B acts, where you kind of like, if they can find a way to go through stuff that regular people are going to, you still always want to hear from them. And I think that is kind of the gift and the curse with R&B compared to hip hop, where hip hop is like, yeah, you can still put out music, but I don't know if people are going to be attached to the music the same way they will be like they attached to an R&B artist. So, I mean, hopefully Carrie Hilson can kind of figure out a way to do it. I appreciate that Esther Dean kind of stepped up for her, to, at least because I ain't heard from Esther Dean in God knows how long. So it's kind of like her career kind of on the dead side too. So I'm cool with her. Kind of like, I respect
that shit is non-existent.
But that's my point. But that's why I respect her for at least stepping up and kind of be like, all right, yeah, she's not lying. At least give Carrie Hilson a chance. Like, bro, you talking about somebody took an L for 15 years? Like, nobody wasn't even thinking about her?
But she had to say more than that, because when did the shade come in?
What you say? Talking to Mike, I can't hear you.
I said, when did the shade come in? Because even when I think Carrie Hilson kind of response. She was like, "Well, you ain't full credit." You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh no, I think because I think after the original when she said I did, I think she was trying to sit here and say her and Carrie Hilson wrote the joint together, and then Carrie Hilson was like, "Come on, dog, like be serious." I changed 3 words on that whole entire song. So again, like I said, I mean, so Estadina, like I said, originally, her last statement, she came back and apologized to Carrie Hilson, and she took full blame for it.
Miss Carrie, baby.
But even for Polo the Don, it's kind of like, bro, it's quiet. Ain't nobody really thinking about none of them. It's been quiet for all of them.
He changed his
Wait a minute,
tag.
mother.
Did he change his tag or maybe?
I don't know. I mean, I don't care if you change your tag or not. Who is the hot artist? Did you attach to him? He don't got one, so it's a clip for him too.
No, but I'm saying, but he was still he was like a big producer
at one point in time, yeah, like in the early 2000s. But what's it like? I mean, you know who produced songs. I mean, especially in this day and age, everybody got a tag. So what's his like? He ain't produced no song that nobody cared about in the last probably 10 years. You like what we talking about? Like we can name top 10 producers in the last 10 years, and his name ain't never gonna come up unless he doing some miscellaneous R&B songs that you ain't thinking about.
Yeah, that's why I was just wondering. Did he?
I mean, yeah, but then do that still change? Even that? Yeah, that don't count. He not nobody. Nobody was running to go get a Polo the Don beat in the last 10 years. That's just all I'm saying. Like, it's cool. Like, I feel like everybody, like, they may have got a little bit extra run longer than, but I think everybody's karma eventually caught up to them at that time. And it was a lady who, when we was talking about pregnancies, I wish it was no clip to it, but it is a 40-year-old women now are giving birth at a higher rate than younger women. And this woman was the first person to give a baby to an AI IVF. A 40-year-old woman was the first one to basically have an AI baby.
I need to know how they did that.
Probably, I mean, we realistically probably mixed up some real semen with some fake something. So put some type of artificial into it, something to give it an extra little bit of strength. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't want no parts of it either. Like, that just sound crazy. Like, I'm sure.
So I'm wondering if it's. Because like I said, when we use AI's computer, reading off, like, did you just come up with a perfect person? Like, you just asked AI?
I'm sure it had to do something.
Come up with this. Like, I asked the AI, come up with the perfect semen for blah, 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 and they just made it. That's why
I don't know. I don't necessarily know if it's the perfect whatever for, but I'm sure that they realistically probably still kind of conjured it up where it's to the point where it's like, it may have it may have a little bit of like a real man stuff in it, and then it may be just mixed with some extra science to give it an extra little push to it. I don't necessarily know if the whole joint is completely just fugazi. I don't necessarily know. Yeah, I don't think that joint just a complete baby from scratch. I wouldn't believe that one. I don't necessarily know if that one happened. What else were we talking about? Tracy T. Let me see.
When she's online, Papa.
Yeah.
Do you think all these antics are because she's hurt, or do you genuinely think she happily moved on? Because pop out the way she doing it.
Of course, she got a baby 8 months.
Wow.
Like, what you mean? You out here happily? If that's what you choose to do, you know what I'm saying? More power to you. I don't hate you for what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their opinion on how anybody feel, but come on, man.
Right. You know, Cash Doll ain't happily moved on yet.
I don't even know.
What's your gut feeling when you see all this online? Like, what you think?
I look at it like
living life as long as you've lived it.
Like
how you looking at her when she do this shit online?
I be like, oh shit. If you going that far with it, it's real then.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's real, but me personally, I don't do that. You feel me?
Yeah.
I don't try to. People try to make somebody feel some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Make other people feel some kind of way because I did. You feel me? And she felt some kind of way. So
when she's online, Pop,
of course she probably won't get back. You know what I'm saying? I might have did it first. She might have did it worse. It just went public. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I might have been a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I got to take that chin. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Oh, you doing that? Okay, it's all good. But if you're doing to a certain extent, that mean that might be what you really want to do, and that's cool.
Right. So this new guy that she's dating, you knew about him before this, or this was some?
Hell no, I ain't know about. Ain't know about this. Like, what the fuck? Hell no, I ain't know about no. I wouldn't have been in a relationship if it was involved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So when you seen this picture, what's the first thing that came to Tracy T mind when he see the picture of Cash Doll in this new?
See, I'm gonna tell you, I was already up on it. Come on, man.
You gotta tell this story.
I was already up on shit, Man, you ain't just slice I mean, think I told her for she know I know. You feel me? So it's like, come on, up on shit. You feel
How'd
me?
you find out?
Man, come
Keep
on.
it
I
100.
can't give you all my shit. Come on, bro. Of course, she probably won't give you everything, bro.
We gotta keep it all the way 100. This is a safe space.
I'm saying, look, if these your folks, you're gonna be on point about every movement they making, right?
Right.
If y'all been together and y'all around that long and got all this established, you mean tell me you ain't gonna know what's going on with your folks?
Right.
Yeah. So when we're going through what we're going through, I'm just people. You know what I'm saying? I ain't slow.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Hold up. The energy a little different this time.
Huh? Yeah. No, it ain't even energy. It's just me knowing what I know. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no fool.
Yeah.
You feel me? I've been out here. I ain't no nigga none of this shit.
Yeah. So, you said you was like, I probably done did it first. She probably done did it worse.
Yeah.
So you were cheating on her. Like that's what
I ain't even gonna say cheating. I'm gonna tell you, we was just in a bad spot, man. We was in a rough place. She needed me and I needed her, and I felt like now one of us was there for each other.
So this is y'all was going through something at the time.
We was just going through something.
Y'all wasn't so when you
we gotta
keep it all out. Y'all wasn't officially together at that time.
When I stepped out, we weren't officially together.
Yeah. We gotta take accountability on this show.
I ain't gonna lie. Like early, for far as me, I told her I should have been like, you know what I'm saying, instead of going the other way, I should have went back our way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then when you started trying to go back your way and trying to fix another acting like they don't want to fix shit. Don't tell me I should have came back when you acting a certain way. Like what the f supposed to do? Just keep trying and be done drowned in my own problems, you feel me?
Right.
Like, nah, I'm like, I gotta live life too, regardless. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause everybody gonna live their life when it's all said and done.
But how are you now though? Like seriously though, it's like, it's we gonna be tough, but it's like man to man. How do you feel?
I'm gonna keep it all the way real, right?
Yeah.
Like, I done growed up and I changed a lot from this relationship. Like, you know what I'm saying? During this relationship, I changed a lot. You know what I'm saying? Learned a lot. She taught me a lot as far as being in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So I learned a lot. But it's like anybody who go through something in a breakup, they gonna feel some kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anybody who go through something gonna feel some kind of way. Then it's my baby. I got 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we built something. You know what I'm saying? We built the foundation. So it's like when that foundation ain't there, it's like everything else in the air.
Right.
Even on her side, she like might play that role and kick that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody feels some kind of way. You feel me?
No, for sure, man.
Yeah. So far as how I feel, I'm like, of course I feel some kind of way. Of course I don't like this shit. You know what I'm saying? World keeps spinning though. You can't live in you can't live in no problems. You got to keep moving. That's the only way you
stepped out.
All right, so cool. I mean, of course, she went on, and it's so crazy that both of them went and did interviews on the same time. So she went on Keke Palmer junk and basically was, bragging on, moving on with her new dude. I do agree. Y'all know I firmly agree with him when he's sitting here saying there's no way you could you could be happily moved on after having a baby 8 months ago. Like, their kid is 8 months. Y'all know I stand firmly on that one. I don't believe it. We need more people. I do think she's putting extra sauce on her happiness via social media because, I mean, like he said, if he cheated first, I'm going to give you a taste of like he said, I did it first, she did it worse. I'm going to give you a taste of your own medicine. And the sad thing is, and where it's kind of for the man, it's like nobody as people on social media who watching y'all relationship on the outside looking in, nobody knew that you cheated. I'm sure people probably put 2 and 2 together. That was the reason why she left. But it's kind of like, damn, you didn't pop out with no junk. You still ain't popped out with no junk. And I kind of respect that for him. It's like, all right, you taking the L, and we know you taking the L because, all right, she cool. She moved on. She dating a dude in the NFL now. So we know that's kind of, and she's overcompensating every time she posting them on social media or something, mention it in the interview. Like I said, she went on Keke Palmer jump and she put an extra little razzle dazzle on the conversation when she was talking about him. I know that that's coming from a hurt place, and she know for a fact like that male ego, it's going to hurt 100 times more. Even if you're mad, you see here saying she only doing this because she trying to get her lick back and she really trying to make me feel her while she getting her lick back. But it's still to the point where it's like, bro, it's on like we still got an 8-month-old at home. Like, come on, dog. You ain't about to it ain't enough time for you to tell me you really feel the way you trying to make it seem like you feel, but I get it. So do y'all think that she's putting the extra sauce on it, or y'all think you can really be happily moved on and acting the way she acting without putting no sauce on it in 8 months? Not saying, I mean, in fact, they probably haven't even been together for 8 months because their kid is 8 months. So let's just sit here and say that window probably maybe like, let's say they've been dating for like 2 or 3 months.
I think it kind of depends. I think it depends because like who's to say what their relationship was prior to her having that baby? She could have checked out a long time ago and totally okay with moving on. Because I've heard her speak about it, like, you know, she wanted it to work out, but it just didn't work out. So does that mean I'm supposed to sit and be sad for forever?
No, I ain't sitting here saying you don't have to sit here and be sad forever, but do you think you can realistically?
I mean, she probably saucing it up a little bit just to make him feel it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But I mean, you could absolutely move on if that's what you choose to do. Because like I said, she could have checked out a long time ago. And she was just in it for the kids. And then it just got to be like, all right, you know what? I'm done.
You know what I wish I would have done? I wish I would have. Of course, I don't want to play this clip because I don't know if this song has already been copyrighted. But it's it was a video going viral of a mom taking her elementary school age kid to the studio for his birthday. So my question for y'all is, parents, do y'all think that's good parenting, or is that kind of like it's out of pocket because the kid is too young? Like she had him in a real studio, like a good quality studio, booked him a session, and he in there jump rapping. Like for his birthday, instead of having a regular birthday party, he had a joint in the studio.
Well, that's cool. That's what he wanted. I don't feel like it's out of pocket. Why would it be out of pocket?
I guess if I'm being old, encouraging your kid to be a rapper, I guess at such a young age.
Oh, maybe you just supporting them. You don't have to be but like you don't want to shoot it down. But you could be, you know, giving them other ideas.
You don't think you should shoot it down at that age though? Like because it's at such a young age. Like we talking about elementary school. I feel like, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like I wouldn't want to shoot it down. Maybe if he was in high school, about to be like maybe like even if he was like in the 10th or 11th grade, cool. But you see here saying like elementary is kind of just like it ain't even no real longevity in that. Like, what's the point of even jumping out there, even chasing that dream right now?
Or maybe he just wanted, like, you want to be like, oh, okay. It don't have to mean that like this is what he's going to do for the rest of his life. Like maybe you just want to rap. Oh, let me put you in the studio and you could do whatever. Like, you know, that doesn't mean that's set in stone and that's what he's going to be doing.
Gotcha.
Changing your SIM card after you get married is mandatory.
Damn, I wish I would have played this.
Why would you want all your exes, all the guys you used to flirt with, to have access to you now that you are somebody else's wife? It is disruptive. You cannot have your exes viewing your status, commenting with fire emojis and heart emojis when you look good. You cannot allow anybody to have intimate access to you once you're married. If you have had intimate knowledge of this person prior, you have no business staying in contact with your exes. No business still having their numbers in your phone. The quickest way to remedy this is once you know that this man is really, really serious about me, I'm about to get married, change that SIM card. Deleting the numbers doesn't help because they can still reach out to you. Change your SIM card. Be completely inaccessible. Make sure that nobody can reach you except for the people who matter, the people who add value to your life, and the people who will not compromise your marriage. A lot of marriages are getting compromised because people are keeping in touch with their exes. When I say people, men and women. But because our page is for the ladies, I keep mentioning ladies, change your SIM card. You don't need that sort of disturbance in your marriage. You don't need your ex randomly texting you, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? Hey, do you want to have a coffee and catch up? Catch up about what? Huh? Once you are married, the only person who's allowed to flirt with you, have full access to you, is your husband.
I'm gonna tell you why this is a great topic. I want to hear your opinion on it because I'm not gonna lie to you. I totally agree with her because I am a habitual line stepper.
So you agree with what?
Delete all that shit.
So I mean, you're a habitual line stepper, like you gonna reach out to somebody?
No, because and I'm not gonna sit here and say it's just me, because I know women that I've dealt with and they be in like married or in real relationships, like close to marriage, and they be having me in their close friends, and I kind of be like, damn, this kind of like out of pocket.
I mean, but
like in my mind, I'm thinking it because like what she's saying is true, because it's like, let's just say if you got me in your close friends and you married, right, and then I mean, of course, close friends is close friends, so you may put something a little bit on the lusty side on it, and if I put a fire emoji in it, you got me in here. So if I drop the fire emoji in here, is that kind of like, oh, and then you respond to the fire emoji? In my eyes, and I'm sure most men, that's cheating, dog.
People are going to entertain with it, so you can get rid of the SIM card all you want to. If you can still find ways to entertain those people.
If you completely, I mean, I get, and I even just not just the SIM card. I feel like realistically, you may even need to start your social media over.
You could. Or you could just unfriend, like you can unfriend those people.
You can unfriend them, but even they still can eventually find your page unless you unfriend them and you block them.
But even if you start a new page, they can still find you.
They can't if your name, unless you making it under your real government name. How they gonna find you? Your number. That's why she said change the SIM card. So now you don't got the number no more. You got everything brand new. Because I do agree with that. Because I think most people, the human nature, you can't help it. Because even even when kind of tying it into the cash doll thing, because so many people you kind of just like want to over like push like, oh, I'm happy in my relationship. Boom, boom, boom. I'm on a vacation. I'm this, that, and the third. But again, if you still posting the super thirsty pictures or whatever case may be, and again, if you got somebody in their close friends, it's like, I mean, we in the close friends, like nobody, it's a DM. No, who else gonna know that I respond? You gonna know that you respond. But in my mind as a man, I'm thinking like, damn, this is kind of cheating. Or even when you get that miscellaneous text from an ex and it's like, oh, you heard this new song. Like, I know for a fact if the dude that you with knew you, even if it's just as innocent as we just talking about a song, there's no way on God's green earth you gonna tell me the man that you lay in the bed with every night know that you sending a ex of yours a song. Nah, dog. Cool. I'm with her. Delete everything, dog. Stop. Like, if you want to really have a real successful relationship, now, if you kind of want to just flirt around and you want your cake and eat it too, then cool, do your thing. But if you want to actually be faithful and you actually want to eliminate any type of, because, you know, I'm telling you, I know so many women, you may be able to stand 10 toes down or you hate my guts for 5 years. I watch it play out on social media because guess what? 5 years, I mean, you 5 years older, I'm older. In your brain, everybody got those little TikToks in their mind where it's like, you don't want to die old. I know we get on social media and act like we lie, but I know for a fact with time, after a couple other dudes may have broke your heart or a couple other dudes may have sold you a false dream and didn't live up to it, then you be like, oh, well, Mikey wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Because the last two dudes was 100 times worse than him. So now I may have used to drop a fire emoji and you may just like the fire emoji and didn't never respond. But now you may start to send the kissy emojis back now. Or you may send it upside down. Like, you gonna put some extra, like, I'm telling you, dog, when you were that social media and that availability to be able to text or send a DM is the devil, dog. If you want to actually be faithful in your relationship, get rid of all of it. Because you can't, like, that temptation, one day it's just gonna catch you. One day your boyfriend or girlfriend gonna piss you off, and then whatever the case may be, and that old thing gonna put that fire emoji in there. Because it's always gonna be, and that's why what she said, the fire emoji, that's the safe jump. And that's why I don't mind drop. That's why you drop fire emojis under women, men, anybody. So it can just be as a universal jump. You can't take it out of context. Now the way they respond to it, that's how the context go after that. Delete it. I ain't gonna lie to you. If you want to keep it safe, I promise you, y'all gotta delete it. Delete it all. What else was going on? There was one of oh man, where's that net? Did they delete this dude, jump? It was a 40-year-old trying to date a 17-year-old. And I know we was talking about, we ain't go that age gap wasn't that crazy when we talked about Boston Richie last week, but it was a jump. Oh man, he seemed like he was a little bit on the slow side, but I gotta find the jump. Hold on real quick. I do want to play this clip of, because it's a crazy, I'm gonna play two clips back to back. One, it was this lady who was in jail with her grandson. I believe he's facing 35 years old. And then I'm gonna play this clip of Gilly. So I'm gonna play the clip of Gilly first, and then I'm gonna play the clip of the grandma. And I ain't gonna hold y'all up because we already been in here rapping.
Sometimes the best thing you could do, don't go bail your son the fuck out. Don't go bail him out. No, you want to be on dumb shit, leave him in there. Let him get a little 6 months, little year bit in there. Because what this do sometimes is, When he see a nigga get stabbed, he see a nigga go, joint go on a nigga head like a unicorn, he develop a different relationship with God.
No, and you gotta let him get that public defender.
Yeah.
No, go through what your dad went through, boy.
Yep.
I had a son, he was on that shit. Oh, he doing that bit.
Yep.
Go through what your dad did.
No, because when the nigga, you know, when them young niggas see niggas get chased across the tier, nigga gotta swore that I develop, please God, Bismillah, Rahim, Alhamdulillah,
the first time a motherfucker have any contact with going to jail about some street shit, if they sit them down for 36 months up top or that wherever, they hope they come out a different person.
Think about the story you always say. You seen a nigga get hit in the head with a weight. You said, I had to just go lay down, man.
I wouldn't lay down for and I ain't come out of the yard for like a month.
I know. Some of them niggas need to develop a different relationship with God. They need to see a couple niggas.
All right, so two things I agree with what he's saying, but then I kind of disagree because I do think sometimes, you could allow that kid to sit in there. And then for two things, for some kids, if they really not about that life and they may just need that little real life experience to kind of scare them straight, I get it. And I agree with you. But then there's some of them that go in there and they kind of figure out, I could do this. This was sweet. This was nothing. Oh, that little year that I did, that was nothing. That 6 months I did, that was easy. All I was in there doing was mad push-ups and sit-ups. And I met a couple good men from such and such on the other side of town that I never would have met if I got locked up. And then I've seen it. I've seen youngins go from doing time in juvie, and then when they still become like full-blood criminals for the rest of their life. So yeah, they did their little 1 or 2 years when they was teenagers. They went to juvenile hall or whatever the case may be. They went to boys' village and then came out as adults and still continuously kept committing crimes. You know why? Because after you do a year, you can do the rest whenever. And that's why you hear man, I can do 10 years with on my head. I can do 10 years upside down. Like that ain't nothing. Like you hear people talk. So I hear what he's saying. That's why I said you can kind of agree, but some kids be so far gone that little bit of time you may lead them in there with, that's gonna just turn them into a demon.
And pray about it. And then you want to pray, if you get a second chance, how you gonna turn this here around, okay? So your life ain't over. You just need a second chance. So that's what you need to dwell on and pray about. A second chance. And sit down and think about how you gonna make this happen and obey your parents and come home on time. Come home. Number one, streets don't love you. We love you, not the streets. You see what the streets get you?
Could you give me a hug, baby? I'm sorry you got to go through this, but all you had to do was listen to your parents. Okay? I don't know how things gonna turn out for you. I ain't got no idea how nothing gonna turn out. No idea at all. I didn't know nothing this second. I told y'all don't tell me nothing. Didn't I tell you that? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, baby. So I'm so sorry you got to go through what you're going through. But if God help you out of this, please get yourself together, baby. And it's gonna take a miracle. It's gonna take a miracle that we don't have. You can turn me loose now.
15, he is 15 years old, facing 35 years, though. Do you know how crazy that is? Like, God, though, you talking about even if he got to do the whole 35, even if he do most of it, though, you talking about he's gonna come out when he's 40, he's gonna be. Listen to what I'm saying. Only time people can come out from that type of time is if you go in and you 20-something, you win in like as a millionaire, like you Big Meech or one of these other type of super legendary drug dealers. Yeah, you can come home because your face card and your name still good money, and you can probably people will look out for you off the strength. But you talking about you going in if you're 15 years old facing 30, 35 years off of an M. Like, come on, dog. It's a dub for you because nobody don't care about you. Nobody's throwing those celebration parties home for somebody who caught a body. They only throw celebrations and give and welcome home parties to drug dealers. They don't give welcome home parties to murderers, dog. It never happens. You've never seen it. It won't happen. It will never happen, dog. It's a dub for you. Yeah, that's grandma just in there sounding like somebody's grandma. Like, pack it up. And we talk about parenting again, horrible parenting. Real quick, I forgot to talk about it because we talked about it last week. TK, it's a dub for you. His ex-girlfriend got on stage and rocked that goddamn mic like Freeway. Oh my God. You could pack his little ass up. He ain't never gonna see the daylight. I hope y'all enjoy that fucking rave song. I don't even know the last time I listened to that stupid ass song. No, it's over for him, buddy. When that girl got on that stage and oh my God, you can cancel Christmas on that nigga. It's over. Like, listen to what I'm telling you. Yeah, I know that we said it was over for Young Thug and everybody else. Listen to what I'm telling you. That girl was in the car when that happened, and she got on that stage and she told everything. It's over for him. Whatever he facing, it's a dub, doggy. When your girl get on, it ain't. This is what I'm saying. This is the difference between like when Young Thug and them got hit with a Rico joint. This ain't no Rico. Y'all was all in the car. All of y'all are facing a M charge. You and the girl sit here and said, no, it was him. He sit here and dragged it. He did all this, and it's over for you, dog. It ain't no like, man, yeah, Johnny Cochran ain't gonna be able to get you out of that one, buddy. I hate to tell you that. I pretty much feel like that was it. I'm trying to just look at my list real quick of everything I talked about. Oh, shout out to Ciara. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shout out to Ciara. Shout out to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson probably is maybe like one of the greatest humans. Man, Russell Wilson, you just different, dog. Like, I respect a man who just don't got no type of ego. Because that Ciara chair challenge is going so crazy on social media. And I'm talking about everybody. Like, you got to think about how secure of a man you got to be, knowing for a fact when your girl posted this junk. I'm sure she asked him. She probably showed it to him. And you know how everybody in their mother going to be super lusty, super geeking. Because I seen niggas just jumping out of their body. I seen married men crashing out, just saying crazy stuff up on the Ciara comments, reposting the joint on Twitter, just saying all types of wild things. Like, bro, I seen even women saying I'm just as bad as the men. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, Ciara looked amazing in that video, but you gotta salute Russell Wilson because that took a different type of security as a man. Like, you have to be super secure as a man to know for a fact millions of people about to see your woman thicker than a goddamn Snickers, and she was just going, she's so, man. Again, man, shout out to Bow Wow, because you was right about giving Ciara her flowers, though. She is underrated as hell. Like, I don't know what it is that kept her away from getting to that same level as like Beyonce. Like, because people don't put her in that conversation with Beyonce, but I kind of like performance wise, I wouldn't mind seeing them like if they had to do like a real performance like competition and you actually judge them fair. I don't necessarily know if Beyonce could really swim with Ciara for real. Like, I feel like because Beyonce is Beyonce, like she kind of in that conversation, like we're like how people treat Michael Jordan. I just feel like Ciara don't get that real, like she got the music, and I don't necessarily know what it is about because I'm not a woman and I really don't listen to R&B like that, so I can't give you a real definitive answer on why people love Beyonce as much as they do and kind of really be slighting Ciara. Like, I feel like people really don't give Ciara the credit for what she, and we talked about that last week when we talked about Bow Wow giving her flowers, but it's kind of just like, man, Ciara, dog, I ain't gonna lie to you. When it comes to performing, like, she ain't nothing to sneeze at. She is not no slouch at all. I do want to leave it out here with this little Lecrae junk because he kind of was like, by the time y'all hear this will be Easter Sunday, so him kind of speaking on religious and how being a hypocrite.
Prior to going on the podcast, he made an announcement on his page saying that he was going to be interviewing me. I get to looking at these comments, and I was public enemy number one. First of all, I had forgotten because I've just been living my life following the Lord for the last 8 years. I had forgotten that there were tribes and subsects of Christians that hate me. Literally, I think they despise me. And a lot of their comments were around things such as me supporting abortion,
Hold on real quick before I finish playing this clip. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's some groups of people where it's like, you know how people fake like they got like super, they don't pay the social media thing no attention. I'm higher than now. Social media can't break me. I seen social media 2 times break 2 different podcasts in 1 week. I mean, maybe like in a 2 week span. First joke was Angel Reese fans. They clapped her. They packed her up. She was trying to do it. She had like, she posted one of them jokes like, hey, ask this person any question. She was going to have the baby on it. I'm sorry, that shit didn't even get to her Instagram page. Whoever run her Twitter joke, they posted it on Twitter. They clinked her up. She deleted that shit and it was over. I'm talking about, because of course her and Meg Thee Stallion is friends. And maybe her people, whoever booked her guests didn't know no better, but they learned that day. So and I'm not going to lie to you. The baby may be one of, and niggas got to give Meg some credit. I understand that people don't want to, like, I don't know what it is, even with Meg, like y'all be trying to discredit her, but the 2 niggas that try to play with Meg Thee Stallion cannot get their career off the ground. One is in jail and the other nigga is live and kicking it and trying his hardest to get his career back. And I hate that people try to give that credit to the LGBTQ. Bro, it's endless niggas who have violated that community and their career is fine. The baby cannot get his career back off the ground because he played with Meg Thee Stallion, and that fucking, her fan base is bigger than what niggas try to give her credit for. Because he cannot do nothing. He went crazy on that fucking LA Lakers freestyle, rapped his ass off, did a jump. No, I'm talking this nigga that put out endless music. He has literally got no further than a hot half of a second of being hot on TikTok with that she fat as a pea joke, and that's it, and that's all, and that's every time with them songs. They get TikTok hot, and his career go back cold. He put out a crazy freestyle, he get TikTok hot for a second, and then it's a dub. I swear to God, they packed the baby up. That nigga, it is over for him, dog. You can freestyle every day until your face turn blue. Niggas gonna be like, oh yeah, it's fire, and then it's cold for you again. You gonna come up with a catchy song like you did with that Fireman John, you put Sexy Red on, and that's how you know how fucking vicious that fan base is. Bro, you had a fucking hit record that was supposed to be out, and we know for a fact, if you and Meg was on good terms and Meg was on that song would still be getting played today. And you got Sexy Red on there when she was scorching hot and it was quiet. That shit was over. That P song did not go no further than TikTok. It was quiet. You just literally put out a crazy freestyle, nigga. It is quiet. People liked it for a day and it was quiet for you. And again, the next person was Keke Palmer and fucking Jonathan Majors. Oh my God, they dragged Keke Palmer to hell for that. She deleted that shit. She interviewed the nigga. I'm talking about the clips, the pictures, and everything. She actually even thought the audacity to put the episode out, and they did not get off of Kiki's neck until she deleted the whole fucking episode. So shout outs to women on social media when they get upset. Black women don't play with niggas when they get upset on social media.
Hating in a political rally and me being at a particular celebrity's party. So, bump it, man. I'm gonna be candid. All right. Lecrae supports abortion. Lecrae is a liberal leftist who hates God, and he can't be really a Christian if he's a liberal leftist. And Lecrae goes to Diddy parties. That's essentially what his comment section was saying about me. If I had $1 for every time I have had to redirect conversations about that, I would be 10 times more wealthy than I am. So let me just walk down this line for y'all. All right. These are the things that people say I need to repent for. I need to repent for being a supporter of abortion. That's what they say I need to repent for. Let me walk you down this line real quick. First and foremost, I forced my girlfriend years ago to have an abortion. I have since regretted that for every day of my life. I've written song after song about it, good, bad, ugly. I've talked about it in countless songs on Spread the Ops Out. I mentioned the fact that I hope I get to see my child in heaven. I'm not even trying to get emotional on this, but like, I never will be okay with the sacrifice of human life for the benefit of people just being able to do what they want to do. I'm not okay with the destruction of human lives, babies in particular. Y'all want to talk about the parties? Because I know people want to bring up the parties all the time. I'm the one that told you I was there. You didn't find out from any other source. I told you I was at a party, but it wasn't a freak off. I ain't never been to a freak off. I've never been to any party in Hollywood ever where there was something sexual happening, ever. Not one time in my career, even nearly 10 years ago when I was down bad. When I say I was down bad, there's a lot of stuff I need to repent for that you don't know about. I was down bad. I didn't even know if God was real during that time period in my life, and God was protecting me and saving me and keeping me, right? So was I at parties? Yeah, I've been to parties, a couple of them. It was definitely in a darker season of my life, but either way, it wasn't a party where people was wilding out and freaking off. None of that was happening. So you got to understand what you won't understand, because you're a Christian. Why would you even go to that function? What you don't understand is that it's similar to being invited to a barbecue. When you're invited to the Rock Nation brunch, daytime, nighttime, it's like a celebrity barbecue. It's just a bunch of people going out there in the backyard, having some drinks, talking, engaging, politicking, networking. That's all it was. That's literally what it was. It was nothing chaotic and crazy. I mean, there were so many people there. And listen, if something did happen, I don't know, because I left. I was out of there, probably by
I guess my only pushback to him is I respect his honesty, but I do think my only pushback to him was, would you have went to those Diddy parties if your career was where it's at now? Like, where you feel like you don't need to network and you don't need to politic with all these people to bump shoulders and bump elbows. Would it be easier for you to kind of stand on your principles and morals and not go to some of these places knowing for a fact what the backlash would be? And I do respect it, because he is right. He came out and said it himself. He came out he did an interview with Rory and Maul, and he did say it. He was the one who said he and told people he was there. He told the part about him being drunk and saying something, talking to J. Cole or whatever the case may be. So I mean, I get it. But I guess my only question to him would be, would you have still went to those parties if realistically you were kind of where you at right now? Because I think sometimes it's easier to sit here and, like when he just saying he kind of fell short at those moments where he lost his faith and wasn't even believing in God like the way he does now, because where he was at in his life at that time. And I get it and I respect it. That's why I wouldn't judge him off of it, but I would just ask him that question, like how he's kind of defending it now. My only question would be, would you still have went to that party knowing how people judge you now and how successful you are now, where I feel like you don't need to be able to rub shoulders? Would you kind of save face? And like I said, we here each and every Tuesday. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell another friend. I hope this episode wasn't too heavy on people, because I do feel like the conversations did get real, a little bit dark at times, but I do feel like sometimes you got to have those real conversations. You can't just have a bunch of conversations with no type of substance, because I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes that shit drives me crazy, listening to a podcast and knowing for a fact like the world is really worlding this week and y'all just talking about shit that happened on Love and Hip Hop. Like, that's weird. But so I'll holler at y'all next week.